pancakes. Making pancakes.
But you know, party.
Making pancakes. Making pancakes.
Welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, a.k.a. Mad Dog, and this is the real episode of 189 of GG's The Mouthful Podcast. That voice, of course, is Mr. David Santos, a.k.a. Dreamtwister, a.k.a. Dreamy Day.
Dreamy Day.
I don't know.
Sure.
I'm going to get you a good nickname.
That's my Stadia name.
Oh, nice. There you go.
I didn't know. I didn't want it to be publicized.
Oh, sorry.
Now I'm going to have all the Stadia owners that we have in the group, all 0 of them,
I'm sure there's at least one.
messaging me, especially when I want to play that brand new game, Tomb Raider, the definitive edition.
The definitive edition, that one, and Thumper.
And Thumper, yes. And Destiny 2. I haven't played Destiny 2.
That's true.
This is the first time.
Ever.
Woo, man. What am I having here, sir? What concoction have you prepared over here? This is the witch's brew.
It is called the actual brewery. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know the name of the actual.
I don't think they want to be known.
It's like Pernucubus or something like that. Yeah, some weird shit like that.
There you go.
But the actual brewery is called Wicked Weed Brewery.
Oh, okay. I knew it. I knew they were on something when they were preparing this.
Well, the Wicked Weed that they're referring to is the hops, for the record.
Wow.
But yes, it's still we'll call it Pernucubus. Why not?
Sure. That's the name of my pet.
Yes.
Pernucubus.
It is an IPA, and unbeknownst to Mr. Santos here, this is actually a lower grade IBU IPA. However, I really like. I go right for the hazy, hoppy and hazy is where I go for it. They're high hops and they're hazy in the fact that you can't see through them. That's how hazy they are. And I've been doing that for a while. Like I just automatically go to those beers when I pick them up.
This is low IBU, International Bitterness Units.
That's right.
That's actually what it is.
Oh, yes.
I thought I made that up.
No,
I was like, man,
bitter units.
This is bitter as shit.
Yes.
I mean, not as shit. It tastes. Let me tell you, I know that people are gonna really like this. I'm not a fan of IPAs for the most part, which is to say almost
At
ever.
all. Yeah.
You say almost at all. Yeah. But
it was a great reaction, and I think I'm going to use it as our intro for a view. Your first sip into, and the messed up part is that we were cheering for something.
I know for Kojima. I think we were
that's
cheering.
right. Yeah,
there you go. Yeah. No, man, this taste, that flavor doesn't want to leave.
It doesn't. It never leaves.
It never leaves.
It's always
This
there.
is what all my food is gonna taste like from now on.
It's possible.
Oh my God, kill me.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Kill me now.
Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. What we normally do, well, first off, please go to goodgame.rocks. Join the conversation there. It takes you right to our Facebook group. And of course, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. What we do normally do is first we go into what we've been up to, move on into some various news items, and then finish with our hot topic of the week. This week's hot topic. PlayStation's 25-year-old anniversary.
Anniversary bonanza, extravaganza.
Indeed.
Yes.
So we're going to be going over our favorite games. We'll call them exclusives.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we're going to go maybe the consoles, maybe favorite PlayStation moment in general. A little bit of everything, kind of celebrating and what we expect to see of PlayStation 5.
You know what? A lot of my favorite PlayStation moments have Kojima tied to them also.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So this is why, for the record, guys, that we continue to talk about Kojima because we love the guy.
Yeah, of course.
I love the guy.
Hey.
As crazy as he is. I love that wacky man.
We feel like we have to, explain the reason why we bring Kojima a lot is because I realize that you guys haven't had enough of us talking about this trend. So we just We just want to make sure that we
stop this week.
We are aware that game exists, and you know what? Let's just talk today about, let's let's talk today about it. I feel like today is gonna be a good day. Before the holiday, people are still buying, the Christmas presents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah.
We haven't mentioned anything about Death Stranding. So Death Stranding
is a video game.
It's a video game
by Hideo Kojima Productions.
Kojima Production, yeah.
And it centers around a porter.
Yes.
Not the beer.
No.
He basically delivers stuff in a post-apocalyptic, unexplainable world.
There you go. All right.
Yeah,
so that's your Death Stranding minute.
Yeah.
And now on to the news.
No. We kid.
Okay. Fine.
Let's jump into it.
Let's get it out of the way.
What have we been up to, sir? Go ahead. Kick us off.
All right. So, I'm gonna do my best to keep it short on the Death Stranding thing. But I finally beat Death Stranding.
This is something we need to talk about.
Yeah. I don't want to go into spoilers or anything like that because I still believe that it is, after everything that we have talked about, how crazy the moment that we have been like, okay, fuck it, this is done. I'm done with this game. There's so other stuff to play, right now. I gotta say it's definitely a game that it's worth going through it. It's worth finishing. You do want to encounter that ending. There is a payout at the end. I will say, and I have to admit that I was not. Let me put it this way: I was not believing that there was gonna be a way to like put all the craziness of the world together into something cohesive. Mm-hmm. I still think that it doesn't. I still think that it didn't.
Okay. So there's still loose strands, if you will.
Our heart, nice. But even with those loose strands, what they decided to substitute is with, was something that that satisfies at the end. You're like, okay cool. It's just, that your typical Kojima ending. Or I probably should say, Metal Gear ending, because those are the only games that I have experience playing from him. But in the sense that it's like, okay.
So 45 minutes of cutscenes.
Okay. Lose the controller up. Now it's Exposition Central for the next yada minutes. Wow. And just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So it's kind of that. But I was satisfied at the end. And I won't lie, and this is gonna sound very weird, but even after finishing it and jumping into, or actually going back to playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, for some reason I don't know if it was the Stockholm syndrome or something, but I was starting to miss the game.
Okay,
and I think it's because the first few chapters can become very chorey and very laborious. But if you just play the game and don't worry too much about trying to discover everything, unless you enjoy that in particular. But if you just kind of like book it a little bit, the game goes at a steady pace, and the latter chapters, they go by, relatively quick. I'm telling you, like, you can clear, like, the first 3 chapters, it'll probably take you, like, what? Like, forever. If you get stuck, it could take you, like, a couple of weeks or something like that. But then there are chapters there that you can just go, like, 3 a day. And next thing you know, it's like, oh, wow, I'm this is actually attainable.
Yeah, I'm out of chapter. They're actually in chapter 5, which is Mama's chapter.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And from ending chapter 3 to where I'm at, it wasn't very long.
No.
I think.
You saw chapter 4.
Chapter 4 was just basically that one thing. I was like, oh, well, I guess this is it.
The one thing was a very different thing.
Yes, extremely different. A little bit more third-person shootery, and I'm going, where did this come from? I was like, wait a minute. I am so unprepared after playing 25 hours of this other thing that at some point I was just like, I don't even know if I can do this.
It almost feels like, oh shit, at some point someone and Kojima Production realized, like, we can't have this game be just about delivering shit.
Yeah.
We need to put some action here
Yeah,
somewhere,
yeah,
or people are
exactly.
gonna criticize it. Okay, let's just put this part of almost a completely different game. I think it feels like it feels
it
so
does.
jarringly
Yeah.
different.
It really does.
You know, it's like let's just put this here and then you get excited because you think, okay, this is what the game's gonna become now. And then you go back to chapter 5. It's like, oh, okay, no, I'm
still delivering
back
stuff.
to delivering.
Yep. A little more exposition. Got introduced to. Well, I've seen Mama's character already, but got the lowdown on her history and all that.
The reasons of her name, you know, the very
exactly.
little name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is pretty much on the nose when it comes to this
Extremely so.
game. So. I won't talk a lot about it, but that's where I'm at. I'm in chapter 5, which is Mom, and I haven't finished it yet. I'm in the middle, basically. But there's a very cool moment where you're trying to go up a mountain to this one facility, and this river, it's like rushing, you know. So I'm sitting there trying to figure out what's the best way to cross. It's the little stupid things, you know. That had me the most fascinated. And then there's this area of fucking mules where I'm like, I'm not messing with these mules. So I literally just took the long way all the way around. I was like, no,
which is totally be doable.
Yeah.
It could totally be. There's an area where I remember the game wanted me to cross through this BT area, and I was like, no, I don't want to handle
deal with
them.
them shits.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So if you take the opposite route, it's completely free. I mean, it takes a little bit longer. It's not even a lot longer. It's just a little bit longer. It's completely free. So
like,
all I got to do is walk.
Yeah.
And for some reason,
do you ever use
I was having fun with it.
The map to see where the time fall is?
No, I didn't. I couldn't figure that part out. I just left the time fall whenever he wanted because
what I thought I was doing, because when I knew that the mission was going to be like the mission said, hey, you need to go from here to there. Like, okay, then I bring up the map, bring up the time fall, and go, okay, over here is probably going to be some BTs. You know what I mean? Because you can see where less the weather is essentially. So
I couldn't figure out how to see that. Like what shows you that? I couldn't.
When you go to the map, there is it's like a selection to almost like overlays over the map essentially, and it's weird because it's not 100% like it's not saying here, you know, right. X's or check marks saying hey, all this is raining right here. It's just like this weird blurry digital thing that kind of goes over the map, and it goes, oh, okay, this is the path of the current rainfall or timefall.
I literally I knew that I was given the item that would allow me to see that, or the power that will allow me to see that, but
it doesn't matter. To be honest with you, it doesn't matter. Honestly, because
I never used
the path that you're going to take. Sometimes there's just no way. You know what I mean? It's like you have no choice because it's a bottleneck, and I need to go from here to there. So you know, so it is what it is. Yeah. But I have gotten better weapons, and I'm just taking them. I'm taking them out and just not messing with them, basically.
Yeah.
That's it.
Honestly, I got to tell you, it is a fascinating thing that I was able to take out so much from a game that it didn't feel like it gave you. I don't want to say it gave you enough. Not what you expected. It gave you a lot, but not of what you actually expected to receive or was hoping to receive. Maybe even because there were some times when I was ready to be done. I mean, I started. I think 2 games. You know, thinking, okay, I think I'm done from here. But something pulled me back. Like, no, I got to see this through.
I had text you at some point saying, fuck this game. I'm done. I'm out. Okay. Yes. And that's because something was, I don't know if it was explained, because what happened is I ended, like I stopped my gaming session and then a few days later I picked it up again, and I'm here on this mission where I have to deliver this particular package to Fragile. It doesn't say what it is, but in the truck that I'm in, it's highlighted red for whatever reason. So like, okay, so let's just deliver it. And direction.
It tells it like the moment if you highlight what it is, it literally tells you what you have.
What it is. It's a nuke, and I'm like,
why
okay,
am I doing
whatever.
this?
I'll deliver it to Fragile. Has something. She's using it for something. Okay, that's fine. And so, for whatever reason, okay, if you don't go to the right place to do this. It blows up, and then it resets, and then I'm starting all the way back from Port Lake City, So
I
I'm like, yes, it kept.
You probably didn't save. I was save scumming the crap out of that game.
I would. After it happened the first couple times, I was like, okay, no, I need to go a little bit and then save. Go a little bit and save. It wouldn't let me save. It would not let me save. It will say, you're in error, you can't save yet. I'm like, I'm nowhere near mules, nowhere near BTs. I'm like, why is this not letting me save? And then, again, the instructions of what to do with a particular package weren't clear. And I went all the way down to Southport, Knot City. And I go into Port City, and it'll blow up.
Yeah, it blows up. The moment
I'm like, what the hell?
The moment you hit Southport, Knot City. And I mean, I think the game, the moment that I knew what I was carrying and the way that you get it, that you also get it, it's kind of like, oh, wait a minute, this guy.
No, definitely. Yeah.
So by total accident,
you went to the right place.
I went to the right place. Okay. I ended up going to
the distribution center is between, because the main mission is to go all the way down to Southport City. So I'm like, okay, let me just go down there, right? And I'll deliver this when I can. You know what I mean? No, you cannot do anything else. Deliver this. And every time I freaking died, Norman Reedus is going, where is Fragile anyway? I'm like, I don't know, dude. Tell me so I know I can just bring this shit to her. And there was times I was fighting, like get up to fight off some mules or something, and you go too far from it, it blows up. You know, and I'm like, oh, dude, it infuriated me that at a point where I was like, I am so done with this fucking game. I am, because I hate repeating shit.
Yeah.
And you know, when you have a good checkpoint system, it's like not that bad. It's like, all right, it is what it is. But when I have to redo this entire trip all over again,
and the trip is far,
and it's not telling me where I need to, you know, exactly how to whatever.
Yeah.
That was annoying. But what got me back in, all right, this was Tuesday night into Wednesday. I'm coming back out of a distribution center, okay? And you know how he plugs in BB and then it flashes to whatever, flashes to Mads Mikkelsen's character.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, I get a birthday wish from Mads Mikkelsen's character, and I'm like, and it was literally after midnight. They had already passed over after midnight. It's already December 4th on a Wednesday morning, really early, and that happens. And I'm going,
if you're not getting it, that's Mr. Mad Dog's actual birthday.
Yes,
the real
December
birthday.
4th is my
happy
actual
birthday, Mad Dog.
Thank
you had a
you.
birthday, actually,
Yes,
sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you. But that right there had me going, all right, Kojima, I'm still in. I'm still in.
That's what you had a famous actor wish you a happy birthday and bring you flowers.
And bring me flowers.
Yes.
And it was it was like I'm sitting there like, honey. He's saying this message, and of course I have headsets, so she's not hearing any of it. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, my son of a bitch. That's what I hit share so I can fucking save it. So
nice, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. No, I was wondering why the game at the very beginning asked you for it.
Yeah.
Well, it asks you for the birthday, and then depending on the birthday you put, it'll say, "Oh, your dooms level are higher. You know, are higher for, you know, people that have been born in this month or something like that." It was something like it was something like that.
Yeah.
So, but I even read about it, and I don't think it makes it doesn't make any difference. It's like if you put a quote unquote weak month, it's like it doesn't change your gameplay at all. It's just so that guy can come in at that certain day and say, "Hey, happy birthday!"
Dude. Awesome. And I was playing throughout the entire evening, and it was just one of these random times I was coming out of. I would never have played on that Wednesday.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. If I did not cross over to the midnight and then walk into his distribution center and leave, I would never have seen it. So I was just like this random moment, and I'm like, "Oh, all right,
thank
Kojima.
goodness,
You got
this. It saved you.
It did
because you were ready to like, okay, I'm done.
Yes.
And I was afraid because I wanted like remember I sent you, hey, let me know if you want a hint of what to do here, because I wouldn't want you to stop playing. I kind of want us to go over the end at one point, because again we haven't talked enough about this game.
Oh yeah. I mean, we don't talk about it at all.
So that's it. Game's good. At the end of the day, I did enjoy it. I have to admit, it was kind of weird.
For us.
If I had to score it, oh God, it'll probably be. At first, I was thinking of saying a 7, just because it's like I was not happy with the nonsense. But the more it stayed with me, and I realized that the components of it, I really really enjoyed. I really love that soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
That and those special moments, like the one I described last podcast where I was out of everything, like taking away the stuff that I was carrying that I didn't need because I just had this piece of gear this piece of important item that I needed to deliver, and my character was super tired. I didn't have any water or Monster energy, and I think the soles of my shoes were destroyed. Also, it's something like my character was wobbling everywhere. And at the end, I see that river, and I would just go to that river and then start playing that music, as if everything was scripted, but it was totally not. It just came in to be a perfect, game moment at that point. And thinking of all that makes me think okay, yes, if being what it is, I'm down. I'm so down that I'll even be curious to see what a Death Stranding 2 will look like.
Oh,
and that's not to say I'm wanting one.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that. But if one of them was made, I'll be interested in knowing. But I mean, they kind of have to tighten up the lore a little bit because everything. I'm telling you, even after going through the end, there was a lot of nope. This didn't sit well with me because I never understood the meaning of this, and
they don't explain it.
Yeah. But they make an effort actually, and I think you will appreciate it more because, like you said, you have that tendency of listen, just give me a good story. I'm not gonna try to nitpick on the logic of things. In my case, I want to do that, but I can't help see. Like every time they showed a stupid character with a stupid name, and I'll be like, "Oh God, no, I can't. You got to stop
Higgs
it."
was the only one who had a simple name, and I'm sure there's a reason behind it.
He will cock slap you on your face, letting you know why his name is Higgs. Because the Higgs is the particle of God, and does this and this and that. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. You're not even the most interesting character in this game. Shut the fuck up. But yeah, man, that was good. Something I'll say probably an 8. Okay. Probably a solid 8.
Cool
on that. And yeah, I went back to Jedi Fallen Order, which playing it more, I'm realizing that this game feels more like a game now after playing Death Stranding. This feels just like your standard game with the game ass features of everything, and I hate that I'm making that comparison because that's not to say that the game is bad in any way. It's just, well, it's a game.
Yeah.
It doesn't it's
not doing anything outside
there's
of the
nothing,
norm.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, I mean, it's cool.
What makes it special, and I hate to say this, what makes it special is that it is a Star Wars game. It's these elements that we've seen in other games. If we see it again from another new game, we're like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. It's no big deal. But oh wait, this is a Star Wars game, and it's like true lore. It's like true story. Well, you know what I mean. Story within that universe, and it's when you think of the track record of EA, you're like, they actually did one okay here, guys. You know what I mean? So I think there's a little bit of a bump with a lot of people's excitement for it.
Yeah. When you take it out of that context, it's like, well, the fighting, it's the high point. The lightsaber. If you were to ask me, well, at least is fighting with a lightsaber cool in this game? And I could tell you, yes. Doesn't mean that it cannot get better. I don't know, or it could be a little bit more diverse. Maybe let you dual wield or something like that. Because you do get in the game, and this is not a spoiler because it's just being everywhere in the trailers. But at one point, you do get the opportunity to have a double bladed lightsaber. Which other than seeing it in red, I hate the way it looks with the green, with the green saber or the blue.
Oh, really? Okay.
With the color, like it just looks so like this is not the double bladed lightsaber because I'm thinking Darth Maul.
You're thinking Maul, yeah.
No, but it's cool that you get a different level of weapon, and that's supposed to be more geared towards fighting a bunch of enemies at once, which makes sense.
Crowd control.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind of in a way. But I think it strikes a very good balance of strategy. Like you can't button match on the game, but also it doesn't require you to be like Dark Souls levels of 10. For Sekiro. Which I seen that game down to $25 on PC, and I'm like, nope, I'm just not even. I'm not even gonna. It's totally not my type of game.
I know, and I have been like so tempted to just buy this game, just so I can say, dude, I get it. I get how you feel about parry. I get it. But you have to experience the moment you take somebody out in such a freaking awesome samurai way, dude.
I bet you that it feels amazing because you're sweating it. Like every encounter, you're sweating it.
It is not only that. It's just, oh, dude, I had my best, probably my best gaming moment of this year in that game.
Oh, there you go.
And I remember I even recorded it, even though it is probably the worst recording in the world because I'm in a group chat with a bunch of people, but it did not matter because it's like, this was my best fight.
Yeah.
I was in this zone. Like they could have been
Somehow with
talking
people
to
talking.
me. Yeah, they
Holy
could have
shit.
been talking. They weren't even talking to me. They were talking to them amongst themselves. And I wasn't even listening. I was just in a zone, bro. And so anyway,
That's nice.
I've been thinking about it. It's completely off the rails here, but I was just thinking you may see something like that in a stocking stuffer or something.
Stocking stuffer. To be fair, I seen it to jump on it. It's just, dude, there's a backlog that I need to go back to.
I know
of games that I am actually interested in beating because as soon as I'm done with Jedi Fallen Order, I intend to go back to Outer Worlds, and then when I'm done with that, I intend to go back to Borderlands 3 so that I can be at a point where I feel like
you have an order, though. Yeah.
Well, I left them in that order, so now I need to go back on that order. Thank you, Death Stranding. You left all the other games stranded. No, so what I was saying about is that the fighting feels really good on the game, and mostly because, like I said, it strikes that balance. It's very forgiving, but I feel like the rest of the world is very. It's not. I don't want to say anything that sounds too negative because it's not to say anything bad. It's not like the world is crap. Although the hitching is starting to get on my freaking nerves. It's like,
oh, it's a lot of hitching.
This is, yeah, and it's annoying because you don't expect it from an Unreal Engine game, and it's definitely something that I could have seen getting smoothing out if this game was given a little bit more time, but it does get annoying. Anyway, the levels, the planets that you visit, they're starting to feel kind of bland, kind of like I'm getting a little bored.
Finished?
Huh?
Not 100% finished.
You know what? They're surprised. They do this cool thing, which is the thing of course, like Dark Souls, where suddenly you discover another area and it's like this different place, and then if you ever need to go back, you open a shortcut and now you have access to it. So it's not to say that it's bad. I think it's just I'm not. There are certain elements of this game that just feel good but not great. I don't know if
no, that makes sense. Yeah.
It feels like right now, if I had to score it, it's like on a 7 level.
Do you think if they had more time, that a lot of these, that it could have been fleshed out more? Like, would it have helped it at all to be baked a little longer in the oven? The reason I ask is because I still feel that this game came out quick. Particularly when you think about the fact that they have the other game.
It feels like a response to.
It does. It really feels like to, and it's just like, look, we got to get it out. We got to get it now. We got to, And I remember, I think it was E3 last year that it was first mentioned, and they were like, it was like nothing. They didn't have anything to show. You know what I mean? And then this year, they had this small conversation about it. It was, you know, it was just like, but are you going to show us anything? You know, and then suddenly here it is. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm like, oh man. So part of me feels, and I haven't played. For the record, I haven't played, and I don't intend to. You know, and I'm not trying to dig on anything. I'm just trying to, you know, look at it from a different angle. Like, is it possible that this is a response, and why there's maybe a little more hitches that you would probably want from a game from Respawn, because there were no hitches in Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 was a ridiculously solid, fluid game.
It was very, very polished.
Yeah.
Very polished,
that's my question. Do you think maybe it would have benefited a little bit?
I think so. You take away the hitchiness and some of the bugs, which I haven't encountered anything that is like extraordinarily bad.
Game breaking.
Yeah. But some annoying things. I would say I would have given it a solid 8 that this game deserves, because the story is interesting. You know,
is the character warming up on you?
No,
not at all. Still too bland of a guy.
Don't like bland, Mr. Bland. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Blandity Bland. From the Force,
generic man with the Force,
generic generic Jedi for the Force. He is just and it's not like it. I don't know. It's just also the thing with and his robot pal. You know, it's kind of like it's Superman. It's Superman. I do not like Cal Lightsaber, whatever his name is, and I call it Cal Lightsaber because I guess the menus does one thing where it highlights whatever you're highlighting, obviously, and it shows you the name of it, but it shows you, like, if you're highlighting his lightsaber powers, it just says lightsaber, but above says Cal. So it almost reads like Cal Lightsaber, like Luke Skywalker. Yeah. So it's like, oh, well, of course he has a very generic Star Wars name.
Why not? Yeah, why
Cal Lightsaber. But it might as well.
Do you remember this? I don't know if it was an app or some shit that they had online where you can put your name in and it would spit out to you your Star Wars name.
Yeah, that was a website.
Yeah, it was a website. That's what it was. Yeah,
I don't remember what mine was.
I don't remember that, but it was very Star Wars. It would be very believable in the movies.
Sarah Flux.
Yeah.
Vagina ball.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, man. No, it's I if you ask me, like, if you're a fan of Star Wars and you're dying to play a decent Star Wars game, this is it. Look no further.
You're not gonna get another one for
right now. Right now there's nothing. And like I said, the fighting, the lightsaber fighting is on point. It makes you feel like a total badass, when you're doing things right. The force powers are also, that's another thing. The force powers are the typical stuff that you already expect. The force push, force pull, pull. There's one where you'll be able to, like, throw your lightsaber around and kill a bunch of fools and just return it back to you, and and nothing like I'm trying to think of games of old that there was a really old Star Wars game where it let you choose the power, your powers, and depending on the choices you made, you were leaning more towards the dark side or leaning.
Okay.
So.
Well, it's clear that this character is not meant.
You don't have that exactly, which is a shame. This is a very linear type of game.
There was no time, dude. I'm telling you, there was no time. Yeah.
So you give me something like that, something like, oh, I can craft my story and make this character be dark or whatever. That would be awesome. But I guess I was suspecting, or not that I was suspecting that, but of this game. But I would have liked to be surprised with something like that, But anyway, Star Wars, it's still up there. I'm still planning on finishing that.
Cool.
I can't be too far. I've already put 20 hours on it.
Oh yeah, you should be close.
Those are the only major things that I play. I played a couple of other things, but I just kind of dabbled just to test them out, so they're not even worth mentioning yet. But I did watch a movie, and I don't remember the name of it now. Hold on. I will find it right now. Hold on. I got it. It was The Irishman.
Oh, okay. God, you should.
I know. I just for some reason it was escaping. It was escaping my memory. But that movie, it's on
Netflix.
So it's on Netflix, right? Netflix. It's a Netflix movie. It's a Martin Scorsese movie.
That it is.
It is that I want to say we gave it trailer of the week probably
We
at one
did,
point, right?
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because we saw the cast and it was insane. Like it had Robert De Niro, it had Al Pacino, it had Joe Pesci,
Ray Romano.
it had Ray Romano also. Yeah.
It has Harvey Keitel.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dude, it had like a crazy cast. And especially like seeing Joe Pesci back in the in the
it's
movie.
been a while since he's been in anything.
Right. And I believe it might have been you that told me this that
he came out of retirement for this.
yes,
He did. Yeah.
that he wasn't.
I don't know if
doing a movie.
Abu told you, but yeah, he did.
So this is a movie I watched this weekend. Dude, this movie's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I really truly enjoyed it a lot more than I anticipated. The only
Really?
yes,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, not. I knew that I was gonna enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. It's a Martin Scorsese movie. And I do like the style of like mafia.
Yeah.
Those type of movies are awesome. But when I say more than I anticipated, it's like I didn't know what to expect of, because I feel sometimes Netflix does don't get me wrong, they do a lot of fucking awesome things, right?
They do,
but not just because they sign a lot of amazing actors doesn't mean that they hit it out of the park.
This is true.
All the time. And another thing is like the movie is, I think it's almost like 3 hours or something, or something
It's
crazy
3
like
hours and a half.
that. 3 hours and a half is this movie.
3 hours and a half. I saw it too, for the record.
I didn't even. Oh, you saw it?
I saw it.
We're gonna talk about it then. That's awesome. I'm glad. I'm glad because I don't think this movie, like, for everything that I liked about it, is like I feel like at one point the movie ended, but it really didn't know when to end.
Yeah.
So-
it definitely went past a certain point. You're like, okay,
So
is there something of importance that has not been discussed
and
yet?
then you're expecting it, but there's totally not. I mean,
No. I mean, it's
depends
trying
on-
to close up the entire loop of
Right.
everything,
Right.
So I'm like, I get it, but
it didn't need
God,
to.
it was, I mean, at some
There's
point,
half an hour here that didn't need to be like
clearly, this could have been a 3 hour movie, and it could have been maybe a good 2:45 if you really like snip stuff. That said, Netflix is like, we have Martin Scorsese. Do whatever the fuck you want, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I would put money. I wouldn't know a way of approving it, but I would put money. That's exactly how the Netflix executive was like, do not question this man. He wants to make a 5 hour film. You let him do it. You know what I mean? So look who we're getting. We have Pesci. We have Shut Up. Let him do what he wants to do.
He wants to make it a mini series.
Then so be it.
Let it do it. Let it do it, dude. Dude, the funny thing is, I knew that it was long. I didn't because I don't like, for some reason, weird me.
So spoiler.
I don't like seeing how long the movie's gonna be. If I could avoid it, I mean, if somebody tells me it's not gonna bother me, it's not like a spoiler or anything like that. But if I'm going straight on it, like I don't need to know, because then I'll be like, okay, so it has been an hour and a half. This is probably the part where they're gonna start wrapping up, and I don't care for that. So I did not know that it was actually 3 hours and a half. So
it is an epic.
No wonder.
Yeah.
No wonder. Because another thing is like everything that was happening in the movie was interesting. Like I didn't feel like it had a slow part. Until past the end, basically. Like I was interested. I was along with on the ride, and I do remember feeling like, man, this is the first movie that I ever remember having to actually take an intermission break. Like at one point, we literally paused it. We went to eat.
Wow.
We have food. We cleaned the kitchen, and we went back to it again, just because,
Just because you had to.
And then by the time it ended, it was like my wife was way past her bedtime because she's a school teacher. She works early, and we didn't realize, but we did it for that for the awesomeness of that, it did feel like, okay, you're going the extension after what you would consider, okay, this is where the movie probably should have stopped. It feels kind of like, oh, it wasn't totally necessary. That said, it is still a movie where I will totally recommend. I don't have any issues, and I realize this is me. I'm not a super movie buff, and I don't get bothered by these things. Like, yeah, people are saying, oh, the aging of some of the characters kind of look a little silly. It's like, dude, you're spending too much time, on the wrong thing, unless it's like generally horrible, or you could tell because you have seen so many of this movie. You've seen this actors so many times that you know exactly where they have the mole and how the mole on their face would deteriorate from age or whatever. Like, it didn't bother none of that bothered me. I didn't feel like anything looked like out of place or silly. Like I heard some people talk about, and I just took it for what it was, and it was a very cool, interesting, story of events that based on events of obviously of
real life,
real life. I'm not saying that that's exactly how they happen, because I don't think.
Well, nobody knows.
Nobody knows exactly. But it was a cool
lot
take.
of the stuff they do know, but what actually happened? Because so for the record, the story is.
By the way, this is the part where you actually give the details, because I'm horrible at it. So that's all I've been doing, and now the Mad Dog is gonna explain the Irishman in excruciating detail.
Oh my God, no,
and
because it's like 3.5 hours. I'm not gonna do it. But so the story is essentially Robert De Niro. He plays Frank Shireen, and this takes place. It takes place in Philly, and so basically, it's the story of how he becomes basically a friend with Russell something Bellini. You know what I mean? But basically, he becomes a friend of a very high made man in the Italian mafia. And then in that case, he also becomes friends at some point with Jimmy Hoffa, right? Yeah. And so it's Jimmy Hoffa, if you don't know, was this huge union man from back in the days. And back in the days, unions were like power.
Yeah, they were powerhouse.
They were a powerhouse, and they were very mafioso. You know what I mean? It was all it was all connected somehow with that, and
which is surprising, because I didn't know that aspect of the unions actually.
No, no, definitely.
I learned
and
something
so it was just easy because you would get people who would obviously need a job or something like that, and they were good working people, and then you kind of get them to do certain things for you, and little by little, you feel them out, and anyway, I'm not going to get into the unions, but the point is, this is the main crux of the story. This is not a spoiler to say that Jimmy Hoffa disappeared in real life, and to date, we still don't know exactly what happened. So this movie, the portion that has never been found. He has never been found. Yeah, and so it portrays a particular outcome. You know what I mean? That may have happened. You know what I mean? And the sad part is, I was watching this film going, yeah, that's probably what happened. That's probably nailed on the head. Yeah, that's extremely plausible. Especially when you look up everything going up, leading up to that point. Yeah. You're like, yeah, that's probably what happened. And there is no, obviously, because Jimmy Hoffa's already, if he were alive, he would be dead anyway, because he would be super old. But realistically, for him to disappear out of nowhere, you know what happened. Yeah, may not know how it happened, but you know what happened. So, so that's been the mystery for the mystery. I think there was a jokes and stuff. Dude, man, he would
Bruce Almighty. Do you remember the Bruce Almighty where he had he supposedly found
Jimmy Hoffa? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's essentially what it is. It is a ridiculously well acted, crafted film. It is awesome to see. I had a little bit of a wager with my wife, because she was like, "Oh no, they've been in films together." I was like, "No, I'm sorry, honey, you're wrong there." De Niro has been with Pesci in some films. De Niro has been with Al Pacino in some films, but no, they have not all been in a film ever.
I almost feel like I would have sided with you. I would have, they'll be together. Yeah.
Nope. And then after like whatever amount of time she had to go surgery, she goes, Okay, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm right, woman. So, anyway, it is amazing to see them there. This is Martin Scorsese at his clear, best. Maybe not best overall, but definitely, he's out top of his game still.
Like I want to see more movies that I might have missed, just because of the fact that
No, absolutely. It's definitely an awesome film. It is long, and I'm not saying it feels long, but unlike yourself, I did see because when you bring up Netflix, it even says right there how long the film is. All right, so I'm like, holy shit, 3.5 hours. So I would have watched it before I watched it had it not been that long. But I was like, wait a minute, we don't have to, because it's like 10 o'clock at night. I was like, I'm not gonna start this now. And you know me, I don't leave shit halfway. So we'll be here to 1:30 watching this film. So I'm like, no. So and then I can't remember what day it was, but I was like, we got time. Let's do it now. If we don't do it now, we can't do it. So we threw it on, and it can shave a little bit off from the end because what you would consider to be the end has already occurred. So now it's really just kind of telling you where everybody's off, and then you're really like, yeah, they all died. Okay, I mean, no spoilers, guys. I mean, they get old and they die. So
the people that survive, they grew old.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
like,
they
okay,
die.
so
The end.
all right, so it becomes that unnecessary long part
I
of
wouldn't
the
even
film.
call it filler because it's like, what are you trying to feel? There's nothing.
I don't know.
else.
Yeah, so you're filling time between the end and the credits. Why are we doing this? Marvel does this with a quick 2-minute thing.
Yes,
Why are we
exactly.
here for 20 minutes? So the credits actually start at 10 minutes. So there's 10 minutes of credits, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god! But no, seriously, it is ridiculously good. When it comes to the de-aging, because there is de-aging of actors here. Some people just, I guess, didn't. I've heard the complaints, and I know what it is. So it's essentially Robert De Niro. Okay, when he first runs into Russ's character, which is Joe Pesci. Pesci is supposed to be older than him, and he calls him kid, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of hilarious.
Which my wife noticed a lot. What's he called a kid?
Because he's supposed to be young. So in every other Martin Scorsese film, that character would have been played by someone else other than Robert De Niro, a young kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, we're going to use Robert De Niro the entire 3.5 hours. And I'm like, I get it. You know what I mean? You already got him. You might as well use him. But yeah, there's no way. And they're 76 years old. The two of them. Right, they're both in their 70s. Okay, so it's just like there is no amount of de-aging that's going to make him look like a kid. So I get it. I still think it looked fine. The only problem with it is, okay, his face looks great, but he still has an old man body.
Yeah, he's not a kid.
Yeah, he's not. He can't hide that. So put that aside. Just go with what's being told. You'll be fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you got hung up on it, then you can do. You're gonna get hung up on it. But yes, I can see the oddities. And like I said, for instance, I'm trying to think of actually a perfect example. The Godfather, right? Godfather films. Wait, no, that's not him. I'm getting confused. But anyway, the point is, to give an example, the Godfather films, in Godfather 2, Robert De Niro played the young Don, while, oh my God, what was his name? Somebody else played the old one. I can't remember his name. And I'm going to get so much hate, right, from not knowing his name. Marlon Brando.
It's
Marlon
kind of
Brando.
an old movie.
I got. Marlon Brando played the old Don, so there was a lot of back and forth in time. So you use two actors. You don't just use the same one and go, hey, we have de-aging.
No,
it doesn't always work, guys.
We have the power not to do it.
I guess so. So anyway, good film. Just make sure you separate enough time so you can watch it all.
Yeah, exactly. It's like 2 days.
Yes, exactly.
Watch it in part 1 and part 2. You might as well.
Exactly. I also, by the way, I only played Just Stranding, so I'm not going to talk about it. But I also watched...
Tell us more.
Rewatch, excuse me, Empire Strikes Back, right? Because
yes.
I've watched the other one, so I was like, well, shit, I've already started it. Now we got to keep it going, right? And God, I love that freaking movie. The movie is so freaking good, guys. Empire Strikes Back is light year jump, as far as I'm concerned, over the New Hope. All right, and not to say New Hope's bad.
Light year jump, huh?
Yeah, light year jump.
I see what you did there.
Thank you. It is it's just, I don't know. It's darker, it's more serious, it's more expansive. There's obviously more money on the screen, clearly from part one, excuse me. Although obviously the part one I'm watching has a bunch of updated shit that no one ever asked for. But
just wait till you get to Return of the Jedi.
Oh, I know.
for
the
unnecessary
eyelids.
shit that
Yes.
nobody cares.
Yes. Yeah, there's so much in these, and it's unfortunate. There's nothing you can do about it because I don't even know if the originals exist in their original form anywhere. Somebody must have maybe a video cassette of it, but that's about the only
Funny
way.
that you mentioned. I was just very recently, watching. It was this guy from Cinema Massacre. He plays the angry video game nerd. But he was not doing the character of the angry nerd. He was just being. So he was talking about the Star Wars movies, and the special editions. And he mentioned that even the one that came out to VHS, at some point stuff got changed even on those.
Okay.
So if you ever if you the only way that you could possibly get like the original as it was shown in a movie theater was if anybody had those 35 millimeter the shots that obviously I don't think they no longer exist.
I remember I had
because they've been retouched so much.
I know they were retouched, but I don't think anything had changed in the original. Like when I think back of the box set that I had, I had to upgrade to the newer box set that had all these scenes that nobody, started off with the most isolated scene being the special editions. Yeah. So, but I had a box before that, and I'm like, I'm trying to remember what part of it was touched.
There was, it was nothing. It was nothing major. But I was seeing the things, and they're I can't remember for the life of me what exactly was. But there was like little things that I don't think anybody would have complained about too much. This was early. There was not digital. There was no CGI to add,
introduce
introducing these things.
Yeah. By the way, those CGI moments look no good now.
No. Yeah, they look kind of terrible,
good,
especially in Return of the Jedi.
I can only imagine.
The
dance sequence.
The dance sequence.
Oh, yeah.
God, that
I can
looks
only imagine that.
Like bad Muppets, not like bad CGI Muppets. Actually,
yeah.
You wish they were actually like
just Muppets. Yeah,
just Muppets.
You keep it that way.
It was really, really terrible.
So I watched that, and for the record, guys, I love Princess Leia, and Carrie Fisher, rest in peace, and all that. But Princess Leia was a little bit of a tramp in Empire Strikes Back. Okay, this is a discussion my wife and I are having. I'm like, no, I don't know. Right? She starts off with having this conversation with Han in the hallway. Then she kisses Luke. Then she gets cornered by Han, and then they start kissing. And then she goes back to saying "I love you" to Han, right? Because and he goes, "I know," the famous scene. And then she goes back to kissing Luke. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this girl?
Well, the purpose half's gonna be dead. She doesn't know.
I don't know.
Actually, she knows because he was frozen in carbonite, and they double checked. They checked the reading.
He's still alive. He's still alive. But you're like, I probably will never see him again. Yeah. So. You know what? Let's go back. Let's go back to Plan B. This young moisture farmer from Tatooine. He's a young strapping lad.
Sure. Yeah.
And he's about my height.
He destroyed the Death Star.
He did destroy it. He's the hero of the Battle of Yavin.
There you go.
So anyway, rewatch that, and guys, I don't have to tell you. Fucking rewatch it. It's too good.
Okay, fine. If you twist him,
I am going to twist your arm. Yeah, get some Disney Plus. Do the free trial.
I want to do it a little back because I think this is one of those movies that my wife only has watched once in her lifetime because she doesn't have the tone towards Star Wars that like we do. But and I know she enjoys them when she sees them. She loved Rogue One.
Rogue One is so good.
Yeah, so good. If I'm thinking of the order to put them, and then I think it was Gio. He posted like the order to watch the Star Wars movie, and he puts them in the order in the contextual order, not the order that they were released.
I watch it in the order that they were
and
released.
I was gonna say, that's like this list could not be more wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like I understand what you're trying to do. But if there was somebody introduced new to Star Wars, and it's not like it'll be like they would not know the fate, the spoiler of, oh my god, that Darth Vader is Luke's father, really?
if people who have never seen this movie
But
know,
kids,
yeah.
There's
Well, I guess
so
maybe
many
kids, yeah.
there's so many YouTube videos
Yeah.
of kids' reactions to knowing that for the first time.
Oh,
and
yes,
it is
I have seen it.
adorable.
It is kinda cute,
It is
yeah.
adorable when they find out. They're just like that jaws drop, like they go.
What? Yes, that's
So-
what I'm saying. That's why you don't want to do it in the order of 1, 2, 3.
No, exactly.
You want to do it in the order of release, and not only that.
Yeah.
When you look at it, when you think about episode 1, 2, and 3 when they came out with the history of 4, 5, and 6 already out there, and there's always callbacks.
Yeah.
Why would you want to see a callback to something you don't know yet?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense to do it that way. Although I get it. It is the
the chronological way of
Exactly.
watching it.
I get that.
But I will watch it in the order that
I watched the episode 4, then I saw Rogue One, which, by the way, guys, Rogue One is really good. I admit it, I'll be the first one to say, nope, never asked for it, never thought we needed it, and still, honestly, if it wasn't there, wouldn't be a big difference.
Yeah.
However, it is there, and it is very good.
It was cool. Yeah, it was cool to
it
see it in
really-
that context.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
And you know that I was there too. I was like, this is not necessary. This is if you want to do, feels like a cash grab, which it was. but it was done. It was done well.
was done really
to
well.
be fair, the solo movie was actually entertaining. Decidedly less so than Rogue One, by all
Absolutely,
means.
yeah.
But it was like when I watched it, I was like, okay, this was not terrible, But at that point, now we were getting too much Star Wars,
Yeah.
and even now with the Rise of Skywalker or whatever the hell that's coming right now, I think it's like, okay, I have my feel.
Yeah.
I don't need.
It's just
another
promising
Star
to
Wars.
bring the Skywalker saga to a close. And while I don't believe them, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to said close.
Yeah.
The other thing that I have started watching, and I'll wrap this up because I realize we're going a little bit long here, but
Damn you, that's trending.
the that's probably I started watching on Netflix, and I'm about a little less than halfway through the season, and that is Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Oh,
Evangelion.
shit. Yeah, you have never seen it before,
I have
have you?
never seen this thing before.
Talk to me.
And first off, I am enjoying it. It is, a classic anime.
Anime class,
yeah.
anime as anime.
Yeah, and first off, if you haven't seen it, is basically if you've seen Pacific Rim, this is kind of what's going on over here. You know what I mean? The only difference is, of course, instead of the pilots, grown ass pilots, no, we have young pilots who are 14 because why not?
Anime, bro.
Anime, bro.
Exactly.
Not only are the pilots 14 and anime, bro, there's some really uncomfortable moments.
Like racing scenes?
It's just like, so wait, they're 14, right?
So there's a shower scene or
So
something?
why are we watching this right now? Because it's like, it happens
'Cause
more than
anime, bro.
It is so much because anime. It happens more often than not. It's like one of those things like, okay, if you kind of brush upon it, sure, why not, whatever. No. It's pretty much every episode is going, why are we focused on this part of this person? And then the main character, oh God, Shinya, whatever his name. The main character, the main boy, first runs into Ray, which is a girl who's also a whatever. She's coming out of the shower because
whatever.
sure, why not? She's coming out of the shower. He slips on something, falls down on her. Her towel's somewhere else, and his hand's on her breast. And I'm going, wait a minute. One more time. They're 14, right? Why are we seeing this? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I know. And I'm like, so I am enjoying the show, but damn it, what in the world? I'm like, at some point, and then of course, I have yet to tell my wife that they're 14. Because I'm like, she's probably going to question going, why are we watching? I'm like, I didn't know. I swear to God, I didn't know. I didn't know this was what I was walking into. I've never watched a series, but
hilarious.
it is heralded as one of the best series. So I wanted to watch it. And I also want to watch the films because they have 2 films in Netflix. So I said, all right, I've looked up what's the proper way of watching it? You have to watch the series first. So I'm like, okay.
Let me tell you, back when I had Crunchyroll, and I was keen on watching what's the name of that? The Hentai Prince
The Hentai
and
Prince, yeah.
the something cat or something. I don't remember the name of it, which was a really stupid like high school drama anime on top of it. And for some reason I just started watching and I got hooked on it, and because I'm a horrible person.
Why not? I mean, you like house parties, so why not?
There you go. There was a lot of and to be fair, the name was it's meant to be humorous. It was not really hentai.
Oh, okay.
but that was this kid was called a pervert for all the known bad reasons, or wrong reasons, I should say. But it did have those moments where every now and then it will have like, okay, this character is clearly meant to portray like she's not. Oh God. Oh no! Oh stop!
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. It's just like
I hope nobody walks in right now.
exactly my point. The difference is my wife is literally on the same couch with me. She's watching something on her tablet, and I'm going,
Okay.
I'm like, if she asks, how would I even explain?
I know, right?
You know, what I'm like, so honey, it's
Honey,
anime, bro.
yeah.
That's my answer to it. It's anime, bro.
I don't think those tentacles are getting anything of this or what's happening on the screen.
Whoa, I don't know about that. I haven't walked into any tentacles yet, but
Okay. I thought that's what you meant. Okay.
Spoilers. But no, other than that, the action is really good. I am enjoying it. For the record, I am enjoying it. It's just these weird, awkward moments that happen for some reason. But overall, yeah, if you like, like I said, Pacific Rim is very similar. The Evas are what the machines, instead of what are they called, Jaegers in the other one, and instead of kaijus, they're called angels here because
Sure.
why not? Yeah,
Did Kojima write this?
Maybe this may be his early project for all we know. So anyway. It's really good. I'm probably like in episode 12, and there's like 26. It's just one season. So looking forward to finish it. No,
the
like
typical-
23 minutes. But of course, I always watch the credits, no matter what. The intro song, because I have to watch that.
You know there's a big argument, hoopla going on with the credits of this.
The end credits.
The end credits, right.
Which I don't sit for.
Okay.
I don't sit for that.
You're like, I'm not having this.
No,
Yeah.
this is not the original.
Yeah, this is not the original song. Come on.
Yeah, I move on. But the intro, I do sit for the intro. So, but yeah, that's all I've been watching. And we're back, guys, and it is time for our trailer of the week. Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Our trailer of the week, guys, may come on a little bit of a surprise, considering everything else that actually came out.
There was a lot of trailers.
There was a lot
We
of
went
trailers,
through a lot of interesting ones. A lot of.
I feel like we should name some of the contestants. So
It should be fair, yeah.
so you can understand.
And people should watch those also.
True, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. First one is The Assistant,
Yes.
which
I did not understand what the hell was the movie about at all.
Yeah.
All I saw
Clearly
was that
something-
it says Sundance, and I tuned out.
well, shit, no wonder. No. It's clearly there's something nefarious going on in this particular office. What it is, we don't know because the trailer really doesn't kind of go into it. But I'm interested. I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
I'm
it's the most trailer that I remember seeing.
Yeah,
recently,
I can agree with that. I can
Yeah.
definitely agree with that. The other one was the Black Widow trailer, which is actually the
that
teaser, Black Widow teaser. Yes, guys, the Black Widow's getting her own film.
Now we know for a fact that
It's happening.
It's not like we didn't know for a fact that it was happening, but there's your
proof.
fact. Yeah, exactly. If you needed
Yeah.
your confirmation, there's a teaser, and it was
real quick though. Yeah, I was just gonna say.
I don't know.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, no.
It didn't really leave me with, I can't wait to see this. It really didn't leave me with anything other than,
This was like the Solo of the Marvel universe.
Yeah,
almost.
I kind of agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure
Because
if
it's
I
a
need
prequel,
to.
like the Solo film is.
Yeah, we know.
Completely unnecessary.
Yeah, exactly.
We know what happens to Natasha Romanoff. So whatever stakes there are for her in the film are pointless because we know she will survive.
Yeah.
You made an excellent observation. True, but we don't know what happens to her sisters. And my response was, I don't care. I don't know them. So why do I care? You know, maybe the film will make me care, but the trailer sure didn't. You know what I mean? So there is the Russian equivalent to Captain America apparently in there as well.
Yes.
Which was hilarious.
Kind of hilarious. Yeah.
David Harbour also comes from Stranger Things fame.
Yes.
You know him as oh crap! I forgot his name in the show.
The old guy.
He's the cop. Yeah, he's the cop in the
the
show. Elle's adopted dad, I guess. Anyway, yeah, walked away with.
He was kind of, and I feel like, or I hope actually, I should say, I hope that the future movies just don't let me with that feeling because I kind of for what it was worth, I did enjoy the Spider-Man movie. I enjoyed where it left, and I know certainly there's other movies, but
this movie kicks off Phase 4.
This movie,
the Black Widow movie.
Yeah, the Black Widow. And of course, we already know, well, there is, at some point in this phase, there's going to be another Black Panther, for example, and stuff like that. But I'm thinking but I'm not in any hurry.
Agreed.
To watch them.
Yeah. I have
I think we're
3
good.
movies I can watch Black Panther in right now.
Yeah.
4, actually, if you get to the fact that the last 2 Avengers was 2 movies.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like, so, So, moving on. We also saw No Time to Die,
Yes.
which is the newest Bond film, which also had me like, interesting, but not...
The trailer didn't do anything to hype.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
It was like, oh, yeah, there's another Bond movie.
It felt like a Bond trailer.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, so
There's
there's another Bond movie happening.
Now, those ones are odd because unless you're a super Bond fan, and I consider myself a fan of Bond movies, but I'm not waiting for them with excitement like, oh my God, I just can't wait to see what's next on the chapter, on the air, like what's going to happen here.
I was.
Yeah.
After Skyfall, because Skyfall is so good.
It's a good movie,
It's so good. First off, I know this may sound blasphemous to many people, but Daniel Craig's Bond has, to me, in a certain way, reinvitalized the Bond movies. Casino Royale was fantastic.
I would agree with that. It's certainly the most down to earth Bond that we remember, where he's not super gadgety, he's not Batman.
Yep. And it's also a weird reboot, sort of.
Yeah.
Very odd. It's hard to explain, and I'm sure there's a lot of gray area there. But anyway, my point is, Casino Royale was great. Quantum Solace was okay. But damn it, Skyfall, man. Skyfall was so freaking good. So after Skyfall, I was like, okay, the bar is now set, right? You have the director, I think it was Alfonso Cuarón or one of these guys, and I was like, yep, I am in. You know what I mean? You got me. And then we get to the one after that, is like, oh, okay. So
I don't remember what they want.
I honestly don't remember the name either, but that says it all right there. So this trailer leaves me like, okay, so we're kind of just back into, we're back into that groove with James Bond.
With the normal. Yeah.
Correct, yeah. Skyfall felt like an epic,
yeah,
just awesome film. My God, I need to see that again. Really.
Yeah.
If there's one thing this trailer did, is I need to see Skyfall again. And then, of course, Free Guy was another one.
Free Guy, yes.
With Ryan Reynolds And
You don't have to tell me twice. I am watching this movie. Day 0.
I mean, frankly, I think every gamer should watch this film.
Exactly.
I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't. So if you have seen the trailer, if you haven't seen the trailer, freaking watch the trailer. I almost don't want to say anything because I want you to figure it out as you get to it. But if you're still here for the next few seconds, I'm going to kind of talk about this trailer. And so Ryan Reynolds plays an NPC in a open world online video game, very similar to GTA Online.
Yes.
And so very, very, very similar. It's clear where the inspiration is coming from.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so think about that for a second. An NPC within this game, what is his life? Well, this movie stands to answer that question for you. And so it had a great start into the trailer, and then of course from the second half of the trailer, it's like, okay, now we're just getting to a lot of CG craziness. You know what I mean? Which
that's what it needs to be at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So it is a Disney film, as it clearly states right at the very beginning. So I think it'll do well because Disney films for the most part, if they're not a sequel, if they're not a straight to DVD sequel to something, they're usually pretty good.
Yeah.
So
also, any gamer should especially make it a point to take their non-gamer wife to watch this film.
Done. We're taking them both.
Yes. We're not gonna tell them what movie.
My wife is gonna ask, and I'm not gonna tell her. I'm not gonna not tell her what it is.
Oh, I totally would. I'll be like, oh yeah, this is. We're gonna watch.
We're gonna go see the
indie film. There you go.
Lady Bird 2.
I was gonna say that joke. That's gonna be my joke.
Are you serious?
Yes.
You need to get out of my freaking head, bro.
Lady Bird 2.
Nice.
Is back and she is pissed.
Real quick sidebar. There's one thing that I will never forget. It was. Did you ever see the 70s Show?
Yes.
Okay, so there was. It was Hyde and Foreman, and they're both talking about something, that they should be. They're talking about something in secret, and then the person they're talking about comes out of nowhere, and then they're like, "What are you guys talking about?" And they both, in unison, go, "NASCAR," and then they look at each other, go, "Yeah, exactly." So we just had that moment, guys. So I hope you appreciate that. Anyway. And then, of course,
that's how on point we need to be when we go take him out to see a free guy.
Exactly. We need to be. Otherwise, we can't sell it.
No.
We can't sell it.
No.
So, our trailer of the week, guys, for the record.
It's not free guy.
It's not
apparently, though it should be.
I don't know.
But.
So, here's the weird thing. I've selected this for its potential.
Yes.
I don't know what the actual product is going to be at the end, and considering everything beforehand, it doesn't bode well.
Yeah, no.
It is the live action interpretation of Mulan from Disney. Now, I know I can already hear people stopping their podcasts and swerving around the side of their car and throwing their phones into the grass.
To hell with the GG people.
Yeah. What the fuck do they know?
Yeah.
I get it. I have seen the majority of live action films that have been adapted from the animated. And the only one I haven't seen is Lion King. The only one I haven't seen. And I really refuse to watch it.
Might as well not. Yeah.
But I get it. I understand. However, if you watch this trailer, and we're just judging by the trailer, we're only a good judge at the moment.
Right.
There seems to be such potential behind this, and I just want it to be that good. Yeah. I want it to be exactly what it is advertising to me right now.
Yes. It's almost like remember that trailer for I'll bring it to games. For that trailer for Dead Island, the first trailer for Dead Island, and it was an amazing. Guys, if you haven't watched this trailer, go YouTube it. The trailer for the original Dead Island game was extraordinary.
Oh my God,
probably one of the best video game trailers of all time.
Period. Me. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
It is.
And that's
extraordinary
it.
is a word. Yeah, the final product.
The
on
final
other hand,
product, though,
Yeah.
it was
it wasn't horrible, but it definitely wasn't what
it was not
selling.
what
Yeah.
the trailer was trying
Yeah.
to sell
Yeah.
at all. So this movie, I'm almost scared that this trailer might end up doing the same thing towards the
You're
final product. of the
It is
movie.
possible. It is possible. But so Mulan is one of my favorites, for the record,
Yeah.
of the animated thing. There is a particular montage because there is obviously a song being sung in the
Of
background
course,
there.
yes.
But it is great, and the song is "Make You a Man" or something
Yeah.
like that, right? And so, and if you know the story, if you don't know the story of Mulan, basically, Fa Mulan is the daughter of this old soldier who was in the army, whatever. And so, at the very beginning of the film, he, because the Huns are being, and by the way, they don't mention the Huns here. They just mention something else. That's a little bit different from the animation film as well. There is no witch also in the animation.
Really?
The animation, yeah, there's no witch.
Really?
So, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. So it's what I'm saying.
It also makes me hopeful because it means
Correct.
They're not doing the shot by shot take of the
correct.
movie. Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
There are
I'm
some
down.
there are some shots I'm like, oh, I see what they're doing here. But there are moments where they are really steering past it. So I'm
Right.
going, maybe they learned their lesson. Maybe they learned it. Like, I get it. You want to be faithful, but this is live action, so you have to be a little
Maybe
different.
you should do an
There is-
adaptation
there's
instead of
zero mention of Mushu. Mushu, guys, is the
Oh,
little
that's
dragon who was
right.
played by Eddie Murphy, who was voiced by Eddie Murphy. We didn't see him at all.
No.
We did see what looked like to be a phoenix, but that was it.
Yeah.
That's all we saw.
It's almost like we didn't see any anything that would have made it okay. This is a very lighthearted family
Correct.
movie type of
Exactly,
thing. Not to say that this could not be, and could not end up being, but it doesn't have that. Oh, this is for kids kind of movie. This could be like,
Correct.
oh, this are for the people that were kids when this movie came out.
Correct.
You
And
know.
now they are adults. They still love that other one, and
Yeah.
you don't want anything to change from the other one, but you can appreciate an up-to-date adaptation
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
And so that's what this trailer seems to be selling, and that's why I was like, that's my trailer of the week. Right
Yeah,
there.
it looks like there was, obviously at Disney animations, they tend to have, just like you mentioned, those musical things that done
Yep.
in the actual animation itself. It ties well enough because it's a Disney thing,
Yeah.
it's a Disney thing,
Yeah.
But
That's how Disney
when
movies
they,
are. Yeah.
but when they bring them to live actions, sometimes
feels
they're a
weird,
little
yeah.
jarring, a little weird,
Yeah.
exactly. Especially because humans don't really talk like that or act like that, and even in a musical at time, like there has been musicals that they haven't been animation. They're just musicals for musical's sake, but they
Yeah,
don't.
exactly, yeah.
They're not this bad,
Correct.
So it looks, from the looks of it, no scene here
From the look of it.
made it look like it was going to be, a musical.
musical, yeah.
And
And let me tell you, and I get it. I'll be the first one to say I'm all right with musicals. I have no problem with them. However, from the tone that you're delivering here,
this is a tone more like a hero movie,
correct,
or like a.
it can be. It's going to be very weird to see singing out of the blue. It's like
Make You a Man or
okay,
whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So
Please don't.
I will still, I will still watch it
please
because I'm
don't.
still interested. If I find out that there is, I'm like,
I'm not-
but at least that'll set the expectation as you know what I mean, to a certain point.
I'm not expecting a Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon level of, but at least
I
something.
am actually a little bit because the
A little bit, yeah.
Tiger Hidden Dragon isn't in any way
Well, it's
graphic.
not graphic.
Yeah.
no.
So that could easily, as far
Yeah,
as
it's a little.
just-
It could get a little. Well, actually, also it's foreign, so
it is for me.
I don't expect it to have that level of like political complexies and
Correct.
stuff like
Yep.
that.
Agreed.
Just don't make it a silly little thing. I get it, Disney. But there's still, the animations are still there. They're not going anywhere.
They're not going anywhere.
You have Disney Plus.
You want to put song in the animation. I will
Exactly.
definitely get
Yeah.
behind that.
I mean, look what happened to freaking The Lion King, which you haven't seen.
I have not seen,
But-
and I mean, out of just sheer morbid curiosity, I almost kind of want to, but I don't. I refuse to do it. I refuse to do it. So yeah, that, guys, is our trailer of the week, and that is the live-action adaptation of Disney's Mulan.
With special nomination to Free Guy, because honestly,
sure, yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. Moving on to the useless news that you can use, guys. Starting at the top, which I don't have in front of me right now. What?
Well, I don't know if this is considered, top, but
all right, you go.
I might as well bring it because
I have nothing. Because
and because you weren't prepared. Console support for Gwent, unfortunately.
Oh, that's exactly the one I have in my hand.
Well, that's the top one.
That is the top one.
That is the top one. So
go ahead.
Yeah, the Witcher card game, Gwent, the Witcher card game, will be discontinued on December 9. This coming Monday. Yeah. CD Projekt Red has announced that it will end support for the console versions of Gwent, the Witcher card game, on December 9. The company stated that it was discontinuing support for the console versions of Gwent, the Witcher card game, due to the increase of supported platforms and the fact that PC and mobile were the most popular platforms. Having just there's a quote here that says, having just launched Gwent on iOS and with an Android version coming, the number of supported platforms would significantly increase, reads the official statement. Looking into the future, we do not believe we can support a growing number of different versions while improving feature parity between them. Considering that the PC and mobile versions are the most popular platforms among players, we have made a tough decision to discontinue support for the console versions of the game. End quote. Those who play currently on PS4 and Xbox One will have the option to copy account progress and purchases over their GOG account for use on PC, on iOS, and soon Android. There will be no regular updates for console versions starting December 9, starting with the December 9 update, and all real money purchases will cease on consoles starting. Well, it already started. That was 3 days ago, so you can't buy it right now. You can't buy real world money on the console versions.
But basically car packs. You can't buy a car pack.
Yeah. Which it's understandable. Although if I was playing this exclusively on consoles, like I obviously wouldn't be happy of it. But that said, there are mobile versions, and I feel like games like this, you can almost make the case that they're more veered towards that experience. Maybe I could be wrong.
Being the one Gwent player that I know in our group, I actually have installed on PlayStation 4. I have the Gwent, and I also have it on my laptop. And I have put hours into the Gwent on my laptop. Way more than I have on the console.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So when I heard this, I was like, yeah, makes sense. Yeah. I was like, I get it.
It's the type of game that it will be.
For whatever reason, because my laptop is set up generally in the living room, right? And sometimes it's just be random. I'll come home and we're going to go do something. And I know I can't put something on because it's going to take too long. And so I just throw it on the laptop and then I sit there, play a few hands of Gwent, and boom, move on. You know what I mean? And so just that alone has put a lot of hours into Gwent. And I have spent money in Gwent, by the way, too. Yeah. Okay, the game is technically free. You can download and
it's a good it's a good one.
Great free to play game. Yeah. But I have put money into it and have not in any way feel like I have not enjoyed whatever I've done.
Have you put any money on the console version or
the console version? I have not. I have not. Believe
it. You don't have anything that you need to transfer over.
No. My progress in the other one is way ahead. Okay. So it's like whatever, So when I heard this, I get it. For those who only play on console, I get it. But you have the option of transferring it. What I would probably do if you don't, because the Android version isn't out. Because that's actually what I'm looking to do, to transfer it to the Android. And dude, forget it. That's going to be my one freaking mobile game that I'm just going to constantly be on. But I'm looking forward to transferring that to it. But if it's only the Android version you have, you might as well transfer it to GOG now, so you have that progress transferred.
If you have on PS4, you mean?
Or
Or
from
Xbox One.
PS4 or whatever,
Yeah.
from PS4 and Xbox over to GOG because they're going to do away with that. And then once the Android version comes, you can just transfer it to that.
Right.
The game really isn't that I know. That's not true. It is actually, believe it or not, it's a very gorgeous looking game. So it could be. I'm thinking about it like you probably don't need a beefy whatever.
No,
I'm pretty
you
sure.
don't,
I don't think
it runs on
Yeah.
almost anything.
Correct.
But that's not to say that it's a game that looks, that doesn't have the graphical prowess.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful freaking game. And it's very. I love fucking Gwen. So I have. This is one of those games that have. If there's ever been a category of biggest surprise in my life as far as gamer, it's Gwen.
It's the fact that you're playing a card game.
Not only did I find that to be so fascinating in the actual
The
Witcher 3 game, but the fact that it spread past that and I actually went and got this card game with. When you have Hearthstone and all these other ones out there for longer probably, and here I am going, nope, it's all about freaking Gwen, guys. You have no idea how good this shit is.
So the real piece of news over here, you guys heard it first, is that Arnaldo plays card games, and more than anything, he is a PC player.
On card games, yeah.
On the card
on
game.
Gwent for
On
sure.
Gwent.
Yeah, I can't even, and it just runs so much better there. For the record, it really does. Because the type of game it is, a mouse just is beautiful on this. This is the time where a mouse and keyboard is like, this is what you use this for.
Stop it! You're freaking me out. You're freaking me out. Stop. You know what? On to the next news. I can't hear
All
you
right,
talk like
moving
this.
on to. I know, I hear you because it hurts me saying it. But moving on to the next piece of news, guys. The Nintendo Switch Online is expanding its selection of NES and SNES games this month.
Oh,
with the addition of 6 new games on December 12th. These include 4 Super Nintendo games.
oh,
And 2 of NES, and 2 from NES, expanding the system's offering out to 50 NES and 24 Super NES games. The new games are a mix of familiar SNES and perhaps lesser-known NES games, including 1 Super Nintendo game. I keep flipping back and forth, even though it has it there, but 1 Nintendo game that only received an official release 2 years ago as part of the Super NES Classic Mini, and that is Star Fox 2.
they're bringing Star Fox 2.
They're bringing Star
There
Fox
you
2
go.
to the. By the way, I have this service.
You
I
do have
paid
the
for this
yeah.
service. I have a Switch.
I don't remember you giving a lot of use to the Switch.
I gotta tell you, the last time I was still playing Link's Awakening, but then
Oh, that's true.
Death Stranding. No, something else took over. Then Death Stranding took. Oh, Outer Worlds.
Oh,
Outer Worlds
yeah.
took over. Death Stranding took over. I have not picked up my Switch in the longest time.
That's
It's such a shame,
There's
and I'm
so
paying
many
for the
good
stupid
games.
service.
Did you
yeah.
see what they did to Super Mario? Super Mario.
Oh,
Bill-
Super Mario Maker.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
I did.
They
I
had
did
the
see
thing
it.
with the link. That,
The link,
that
yeah.
looks legit.
It does. I don't have the game, but yes, it does. But
I thought you had the game.
the 3 other Super NES titles coming are Super Punch Out, which is one of my favorites,
Nice.
Kirby Superstar, and Breath of Fire 2. Dude,
Oh,
the Breath of Fire series is one of those series that, for whatever reason, I missed out on. And it's one of those like, man, I would love to go back to that series. And now I have
that's
an
from
opportunity.
Square.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you remember that you ever played them?
I remember. I saw. I don't believe I've ever played them.
Okay.
I don't know why, because I was in such a huge
that's why I
JRPG
assumed,
rush
yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah. This was one of I don't think I was into JRPGs at that time when it came out. And it's one of those that people always bring up like, man, when are they ever going to bring back the series, whatever? And I'm like, man, and I knew of it. Like I always known of the series, but I never actually tried it. And boom, here it is. I can actually jump into one. I'm like,
Boom.
okay.
There it
I'm already
is.
paying for the damn service, so
Might as well, exactly.
Of these titles, Breath of Fire 2 is the only one not also available on the Super NES Classic Mini. And both Super NES Breath of Fire titles are available to subscribers on Nintendo Switch. Star Fox 2 is likely the highlight for many, although I hear it's not a very good game, for the record. I hear that compared to the first one.
Oh,
So that's there. The NES titles added are Crystalis, an action RPG set in a ruined civilization,
I remember Chrysalis, yes.
and Journey to Silius, a run and gun shooter.
Don't remember that one at all.
That sounds Silius to me.
Nice.
While both titles are less well known than other Metroids and Super Marios, they're interesting additions to the service. So look forward to that, guys. Maybe I have a reason to pick up my Switch.
Yes. Dust off your Switch,
It's
sir.
sitting there just charging, probably destroying the battery.
He has over 9,000%.
It's over 9,000. Sorry.
Oh, I should probably dust off my Xbox One that I don't own.
Oh.
Because a remastered version of Vanquish for Xbox One
Oh, shit.
has appeared with a 2020 release date. I'm kidding. That game is available actually on PC. If I wanted to play it right now, I could. But I haven't mustered the courage to do so. I'm afraid of that game, obviously. No, Vanquish, an excellent, I will call it a third-person shooting craziness type of game from the makers of Bayonetta and
Platinum Games.
Platinum
Yeah.
Games. I'm trying to remember the good Platinum games. You know, I want to
You just listed them.
Bayonetta and that's it. No,
that's
you
it.
know it's not. You know,
No, that's it.
No, Nier Automata. Thank you.
No,
yeah,
we'll stick
Nier
with the other
Automata, probably one of the best games this generation.
And I'm not
yes.
even that sure about Bayonetta.
You haven't even tried Bayonetta.
I
That's
have.
Okay. No, you
On
played the wrong
PlayStation 3.
version. You played of all the versions you could have played.
Hey,
you
that's
played
what
the
was available
absolutely
to
wrong
me.
version.
And that was the version they released.
Well,
on
that's-
it.
you know
Whose
what?
fault is that?
That was you for having only a PlayStation 3 instead of having the Xbox
sure.
360. So a remastered version of Vanquish, like I mentioned, it is slated to release in 2020. It seems that Sega is releasing a remastered version of the third-person shooter Vanquish for Xbox One on February 18 of 2020. There has been no official announcement yet, but the game is now listed on the Microsoft Store. The listing says that the game will have 4K graphics, run at 60 FPS on Xbox One X. The PC version of the game was released back in 2017, and of course also supports 4K 60. Vanquish was made by action game aficionados Platinum Games, known for Bayonetta and Nier Automata. Look, the same ones that I just mentioned.
Sure.
And directed by Shinji Mikami of Resident Evil fame. It was first available on Xbox 360 and PS3, arguably on PS3.
Hey, Vanquish ran just fine.
No, did it?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
But Vanquish, yes, Vanquish it did. Yes, because I owned it on PS3.
Yeah, so did I.
That's true. Did you ever beat it? I didn't.
No, I could never.
was-
and I tried, dude. I restarted it
Really?
at least 3 times, and I always got to the same
was
point.
not a bad game.
No, not at all. I don't know what it was. I just
don't know
couldn't
what
continue.
It was.
I don't know.
Me neither. That's why I'm saying I'm afraid of that game because I don't feel like I've ever got.
Apparently, I am too.
In the game, you play as Sam Gideon, who must end a
that
mutiny
name.
that threatens the fate of Earth. He wears an experimental suit that allows for fast and fluid combat, capable of sliding around the game's sci-fi environments while blasting deadly robots with a range of high-tech weapons. Oh, and also I got more. Breaking news.
Uh-oh.
A remastered version of Bayonetta will also appeared on the Microsoft Store for Xbox One, releasing on February 18 of 2020. It is also listed as having 4K graphics and 60 frames per second. The same as the PC version that was released in 2017. So right now, if you wanted to play Bayonetta, you have no excuse. It's available almost everywhere except your predilection console. And if you never came to it, you should play it because Bayonetta is a fantastic one of those. A fantastic hack and slash. Fantastic. Even if the story was completely nonsensical.
Oh gosh.
It is still one of
nonsensical.
It was still one of the best, probably one of the best one of those that I, that I played. Dude, that the enemy designs of those games, especially on the first one, is top notch. It is so good. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. In 2017, Firewatch developer Camposanto unveiled In the Valley of Gods, a promising-looking first-person adventure game set in Egypt. The following year, Valve, the maker of Counter-Strike, Steam, and Dota 2, snapped up Camposanto. Some Firewatch fans worried that Camposanto had been swallowed by a company notorious for not shipping games. Just last month, Firewatch fans freaked out a little bit more when multiple Camposanto developers who had joined Valve removed any and all mention of In the Valley of Gods from their Twitter bios. It was a worrying sign. But then Valve announced Half-Life Alyx, a VR-only prequel to Half-Life 2. Several Camposanto developers were confirmed to be working on the project. Still, the fate of In the Valley of Gods was uncertain, but no longer. Camposanto co-founder Jake Rodkin confirms that In the Valley of Gods development is on hold, but not outright canceled. In a statement to Polygon, Rodkin says that the former Camposanto developer are busy working on not just Half-Life Alyx, but Dota Underlords, Steam, and other Valve projects as well. And there's, of course, a full statement here on Polygon. You can read up on that. Half-Life Alyx is scheduled to be released on Steam on March of 2020. In the Valley of Gods, a release date on Steam is now listed as to be determined.
So it's canceled. Confirmed.
Yeah, it looks that way.
Yeah, it's not happening.
That's a shame. To be fair, though, I played their first game, which is Firewatch, and I remember being very excited for it. When the trailer first came out, I was like, "Oh man, I want to get into this." And the game was good. Yeah. It was really the most I can say. The intro to it was ridiculous. It's one of those intros you go, "Holy fuck!" You know what I mean? You say that, huh?
I'm ready.
No, yeah, basically. But it's also it sets this background to your character. You go, "Oh damn!" You know what I mean? It's like that shit's just messed up. Excuse me. But the game itself was just okay. And it also suffered from a little bit of frame rate hitches. So, so it was just one of the things like, and there were people who loved the hell. It was one of when it came out, right? People were like, "Oh, Firewatch, it's here, it's blah blah blah," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's all right." You know, when I played, I was like, "It's okay." Never played again. You know, and honestly, not that memorable. You know, but anyway, I saw the attempt. I can see the you know what they were trying to bring to the table. And when I saw the In the Valley of Gods, I was like, "Oh, okay, all right. Well, you know, this is their second game. Maybe we'll get a good one." And now, maybe not.
Now it's hey, that time's gonna be useful. You know what? All the Half-Life games that are about to come.
Half-Life Alyx.
Hopefully,
yeah.
And 3 at some point. Come on, it needs to happen
at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of good vibes. I didn't mean that. Well, I could say a lot of vibes were sold, probably, but I don't know that for a fact. But I know that just the announcement itself of Half-Life Alyx is moving VR
units. Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, absolutely. So, kind of surprised. I gotta admit, you know,
I'm the one who's been saying that VR is a thing.
I still leaning more towards that. Towards that technology is not gonna. You know, I'm not gonna say it's dead.
It's never gonna supplant normal game.
No,
it's never gonna do that.
But it's not like, or even reach parity. It almost looks like a niche thing.
It's never gonna reach that. No, it will always remain niche. Mm-hmm. Just like motion gaming, motion control gaming. You know what I'm saying? It's cool, but it will always remain in this little corner. It will never supplant you sitting in front of a TV with a controller in hand. Right. That's always going to be the best way to play a game.
It's going to be like motion gaming right now.
No, motion gaming right now, no.
Complete. Hey, you heard
it's not dead. Hello, the Switch does it.
The Switch. Oh, yeah, of course. You see a lot of games coming out for the Switch that uses motion controls. So Death Stranding, because we haven't spoken enough about Death Stranding.
Not at all.
Kojima is thinking about a sequel. Oh, shoot.
Oh, then you just... Okay.
Yeah, kind of like... Yeah. Well, I remember skimming through this, but I haven't actually read this article.
Okay.
Kojima is thinking about a sequel, but it will start from zero. Well, good. That way they could probably explain a lot of the crap that's happening in this game.
Explain what the original Death Stranding was.
Yes. Death Stranding, Sony's big holiday 2019 release, is the first game from Hideo Kojima in the wake of his split from Konami. The game received mostly positive reviews, arguably. And it seems to have pleased many of Kojima's previous, many fans of Kojima's previous work. Also debatable. In a recently published discussion held shortly before the game was released, Kojima had briefly touched on the possibility of a sequel. In discussions with Variety, Kojima discusses his friendship with Norman Reedus and talks about wanting to work with Reedus again. Kojima says that he will consider making a Death Stranding sequel with Reedus, but that he will start from zero. It seemingly would not follow on directly on the first game. There are no further details or thoughts given, although Kojima does share a charming anecdote about Reedus' cat throwing up.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Hold on, let me see. I'm just trying to see if there. If you remember recently, Kojima had also hinted on a Twitter post that he might return to horror after the cancellation of his much anticipated Silent Hill.
Yes.
Which also would have starred Norman Reedus. Nothing specific has been announced about the game just yet, although Death Stranding will receive a substantial update in the middle of December. I'm not sure about that substantial update. I know that there was an update that came out very recently that allowed for you being able to disassemble other people's vehicles that are left, that have been purposely left on
Oh, that's already out there.
areas blocking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you read about
Yeah.
that? So evidently, for those who don't know, there has been people, players are supposed to, they're encouraged to be helpful towards other players in this game. But of course,
There's always a jerk.
there's always jerks on the internet. The internet is the internet. So there has been people that have purposely put the vehicles in front of mission critical areas. It pretty much not letting you advance on your game, and that was specific if you wanted to go to the place where you will see the character that Conan O'Brien plays. I'm not gonna say where, but in that specific area, I noticed that when I went there the first time, I noticed there was a lot of vehicles just turning around everywhere. But I didn't think any of it because the area was kind of hard to maneuver. So I was thinking maybe this is the part where people
They get out of their car, yeah.
Yeah, they was just like this. They get out of the vehicles. But no, I know. They were just trying to be assholes for it. Although I don't think that particular, meeting him, I don't think is mission critical.
No.
But yeah. But
That I've known, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, now there's an update that allows you to be able to dismantle any vehicles that is blocking your path.
I've already dismantled certain things.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. Because another cool thing that it did that this was annoying the hell out of me, was the other deck, which is basically the little radar that he had, that hand thing that he hands that comes out of his shoulder, and basically points you where the BTs are located when you cannot see them. Because if you move, you cannot see them, but if you stand still, then you can see the operations.
Visibly.
But the problem is that when you are carrying a lot of cargo, the cargo will cover that radar, and it happened to me several times.
I've always, yes, it does normally, when you first try to, stop for a second, but I was always able to pan the camera around to see where it was pointing.
Well, I kind of have to do that, but that was annoying in itself because I had to suddenly move. Let's say if I wanted to walk towards the left side, but I couldn't see because of the position of my character, I couldn't see where the thing was pointing, and the thing will be going berserk, going careful,
like it's right there.
It's
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
It's right there. But you couldn't see it. You literally had to move the camera around your character so you could see where the hell it was pointing, and then you start walking and it will cover it again. So it was annoying. So now what it does is that it makes your cargo go into a transparency mode, so you can always see where that little radar is pointing.
Okay. That's a good update.
That is pretty good. Something simple to do.
Yeah.
What the hell? I already beat that game. I'm not gonna touch it back.
Okay.
I kind of want to though.
I've got a couple of small pieces here. I don't know if you have anything else. I was just gonna ramble them off real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
First and foremost, Hitman 2. As the holidays are the season of giving, developer, IO Interactive is giving out free content for its stealth action game Hitman 2 this month. The batch of new content includes additional contracts, seasonal events, and, of course, elusive targets. Beginning on December 5th and going through early January 2020, you can play an assortment of new missions in Hitman 2. A few of the game locations will receive some form of new content throughout the month. These include an escalation contract in Santa Fortuna on December 5th, an elusive target in Paris on December 6th through the 16th, a seasonal event in Hokkaido on December 17th, and more. So look forward to that. There's actually a whole menu of stuff that's going to end up coming through there, which is great. It's free content, and who doesn't like free content?
Yeah. And that's a good game.
It is a very good game. Atlus's re-release of Persona 5 is coming to PlayStation 4, and the date has been set for March 31st, 2020. This will be, of course, Persona 5 Royal, a.k.a. Persona 5 The Royal in Japan, and will add on a ton of new features to the 2017 role-playing game, including a new playable character, a new area to explore, and a host of tweaks and streamlining changes. Release date for that is March 31st of 2020. If you haven't played it, well, there it is. You're going to get the definitive version for it.
Whoops, there it is.
And my last piece, guys.
Do you have one?
These are the toys that you're looking for. Baby Yoda merchandise is up on digital shelves after Walmart broke an embargo on Tuesday earlier this morning. Or earlier this week. In addition to the Baby Yoda plush that we got an accidental sneak peek at, there are T-shirts, phone cases, tote bags, and of course those ubiquitous bug-eyed menaces, the Funko Pop vinyl figures. Sir,
yes.
I have already pre-ordered my my plush Baby Yoda, and I expect no judgment from you.
Absolutely none. You will get no judgment whatsoever from me for the fact that you failed to fall exactly in what Disney wanted to do.
I know, dude.
The thing that Disney made this character for.
You don't understand how freaking adorable this freaking thing is. And I don't know why.
It's not going to compete against BB, all right? It's just not.
I know you're not comparing him to BB-8.
Not BB-8. Comparing it to BB from Death Stranding.
Oh,
the little
okay.
baby.
Nah.
And you know that he's adorable.
He is cute, but he is no Baby Yoda.
He is more. More than some of this part. No.
Wow.
I don't know. I haven't fallen in love with the baby. Mainly because I don't watch the Mandalorian because I don't have Disney Plus. But also, if there had ever been a telegraph,
I get it.
You know, this is, we're just making this so that we can sell toys.
So here's where, and I agree.
Not that Star Wars hasn't been that.
Oh,
you know,
not that anything Disney hasn't been.
That's true. Yeah,
but I agree. However, I got to give it to them. Normally, this shit's already out and available before the thing's even like the shows or movie, whatever is released. However, to avoid spoilers, they didn't do that for this one. And you know what? I got to give a little credit for that.
Yeah.
A little credit for that.
Yeah, I can see.
That said, nothing prepares you for the first time you see that little freaking guy, man.
But it's maybe everywhere,
now,
though.
You weren't there for the first unveiling, sir, and I am so sorry for you. But
no,
I was, and it was amazing.
I'm okay. I'm all right. I will survive.
Have you heard of the Sweet Baby Jesus meme?
The Sweet Baby Jesus? No.
It's a movie.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What's his name? Will Ferrell, and he it was, God, what is the movie? Bobby something. It was a NASCAR movie.
Shit. I know which one. The NASCAR one. Yeah, I know.
So
I saw that movie.
Did you? Okay, so you know how at some point he prays and he goes, "We're praying to Sweet Baby Jesus,"
yeah.
and all that. So yeah, that's gonna be forever now. Sweet baby Yoda. Sweet baby Yoda.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, it's listen. As much as I like anything Star Wars, I also like Star Trek, and I haven't signed up to stupid CBS so I can watch Star Trek Discovery, which I hear is good.
Fair enough.
So
Fair enough. Yeah.
So yeah, this sorry, I'm just bringing it up not because it's anything important, but because it's kind of amusing.
Okay.
Amazon customers who bought a Nintendo Switch on Black Friday, they get sent condoms, tambourines, and electric toothbrushes instead.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, it's so Nintendo is trying to expand
Their market.
Yes, yeah.
We're going for the.
They want to diversify, their product line. So they're going into condoms now.
They're going into the adults.
Yes.
Okay.
Ready to. So when you want to Game Pass and chill.
Yeah.
Get it? That was good.
Respect.
That was good.
Respect.
There are reports coming out of the UK that at least a dozen people who bought a Nintendo Switch as part of Amazon's Black Friday sale did not get a Nintendo Switch. Instead, they have received everything from air fresheners to photopolymer resin.
Photo. Point it out, sir, so I can see where you're at.
Right here. Photomortical.
Oh, photopolymer resin. Yeah, yeah.
Resin.
What the hell is that?
I don't know. A website called The Mirror has been rounding up some of the complaints, which has prompted an apology from Amazon and promises that the company will be investigating exactly what happened. The issue doesn't appear to be a simple error in orders, like a SKU mix-up, where everyone who ordered a Switch got a PS4 instead. Since those affected are receiving completely random items all over the country. That
is definitely some drunk fool at Amazon's whatever said, you know what would be funny?
If we, like this, ready? If we switch their order
with some random shit.
It's just with some random shit.
Exactly.
How random, you might ask? Well, some of the items that were mistakenly sent out include Remington facial trimmers, bed sheets, Lego, dog food, and dishwashing powder.
Wow.
Amazon apology reads, "We are really sorry about what happened. We're really sorry that they are sorry. We are really sorry about that and are investigating exactly what happened. We're reaching out to every customer who's had a problem and made us aware so we can put it right."
Amazon will fix it, so I don't have any.
Yeah. Of course,
But it's hilarious.
They get sent out condoms.
They just paid $300 for the Switch. How about we send them $300 worth of condoms?
Exactly. It's like, what are you trying to say? He's freaking virgin.
I know. A lifetime supply of condoms that you will never use. Wow.
Because you probably still play Pokemon. Oh!
Wow.
Low blow. That was on me. Yeah. Direct all your hate comments towards me.
Yes, please. Dreamtwister.
Halo Reach launched on PC and become the third most played game on Steam on the day that it came out, which was a couple of days ago. I don't remember now. It was sometime this week. All right, that's all that matters. The remaster of Halo Reach on PC came out, making the series return to the platform after 12 long years, and Steam users have given it a Spartan welcome. Oh, Gotaku. With over 100,000 people playing at the same time, making it on the top 5 games on Valve's storefront. Ever since the game came out, or at least when it came out at 1 p.m. Eastern, it already had more concurrent players than PUBG, Grand Theft Auto 5, and Rainbow Six Siege. And then they had some numbers to dictate, but it was around that time, when it came out. Needless to say, the Halo Reach is the first game in the series, which is coming to PC, but not the only one. Because remember, the entire Halo Master Chief Collection is actually coming. The game, the game includes every Halo game in existence up to Halo 4, I should say, including their multiplayer modes, and of course they're playable at 4K 60. Now, I heard reports that the PC version of Halo Reach is not great. I mean, it's definitely playable and it's definitely fine, but there are some issues with like mouse usage. If they say it feels a little floaty. Which
that's not
it
good.
could be it could be a problem, especially if it has any sort of mouse acceleration. That's annoying. That's when you move the mouse a little bit. You move the mouse at the same time, but the more you're moving it towards some part, the faster your mouse cursor goes, even though you're still applying the same speed. So that could be annoying. If that's what they mean, that's a deal. That would be a deal breaker.
Say, that definitely throw everything off.
If I understand it right, if that's what they mean, I'm not sure. But
it's
also
almost like you have to use a controller at that point.
Almost, I would say yes, yes.
God
defeating
forbid.
the entire purpose of playing Halo on PC.
Yeah, sure.
The other thing I heard was that because the game was originally obviously on Xbox 360, and Xbox 360 uses a particular set of audio codecs that have not been particularly easy to port to the PC, so that the sound, I mean, it sounds okay, but it doesn't sound like, it's not what you expect. It doesn't have that fidelity. Some people describing it as, this probably play as if you were playing it through the Switch speakers.
Wow. Oh, damn. That's real.
When you put the Switch under a pillow.
Wow. That's horrible. That's a little exaggeration, I'm sure. But still.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But and to be fair, I went online to listen to see see videos and listen to how bad it is, and like it sounded like something that would have annoyed me a little bit if I would have caught it. I probably, to be fair, to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't have noticed. But that's not to like downplay.
No, that's not
the thing.
Absolutely.
That's just saying I have bad hearing.
Exactly. We are in our 40s
because I heard some games. Some shooters on PC, like even Battlefield, the Battlefield games on PC, for example, and they sound ridiculous. Like it is the next best thing. It's so good, the fidelity, the weapons, and everything. And I would not compare it to what I heard here. Even though it was a YouTube video, which tends to get compressed and yada yada yada. But yeah, man, it's doing it's doing all right. It's doing all right. It could use a little bit of polishing. Let me see. I'm trying to scrape here from the bottom of the barrel here. Okay, there's nothing. There's nothing more that is like major or anything.
Cool.
Evidently. Yeah.
All right, guys, stand by. We'll be right back with our hot topic. And we are back, and it is time for our Hot Topic of the Week.
Hot topic.
Hot Topic again, guys. It is PlayStation's 25th anniversary.
Oh, happy birthday.
25 years ago, the world was blessed with having PlayStation in its lives.
Go tell that to Nintendo. Oh.
Yeah, so we're here really more to just kind of reminisce, talk about our favorite PlayStation specific moments. Okay. Is that a hint to something?
No, I was just trying to make the entrance.
Oh, okay. This is what
Because
happens.
you know that greatness awaits.
Greatness has way. What is their old tagline? There was another one that was silly.
We are creepy and you guys are not ready for us. That was the elevator. Oh man, we should have actually watched a couple of.
They still
You
do,
know what?
though.
We probably
They
should,
jump.
because you know that they had like especially on the PlayStation 3 era, and not to get us ahead of ourselves,
No,
but
that's fine.
you know some of the commercials for PS3 were disturbing
Yes.
before they found their footing. Before they found their footing, I felt like they
Yes.
were like going way too abstract and way too what the fuck and way too
Correct.
trending.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Not even more.
Yes.
Even more wacky than Death
Creepy
Stranding.
baby.
Yeah.
It's all, you know
Yeah.
what? We should probably post a few of those because those are worth watching.
They are. Yeah. With the post of the
Because you don't see commercials like that anymore.
No,
I mean,
not at all.
there was.
I mean, let's be real. The best ones are the Crash ones. When he's outside of Nintendo headquarters.
Yes,
That's one of my favorites right there. I'm not gonna lie. But that was PlayStation 1.
That was PlayStation
By
1
the time
too.
PlayStation 3 came out, they were just this awkward teen.
Yes.
It was their awkward teen phase.
They were like on the very super emo phase.
Yes, very emo. Very.
Yeah.
It was just like, what? They just did not have their finger on the pulse at all.
I don't know what was going on there. But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
maybe
on
not
it.
for maybe not for us. Maybe somebody was. I wonder. I'm calling out to the group.
You know what?
If you in any way found those ads for PlayStation 3, early PlayStation 3 ads, to be in any way fascinating, please let us know.
Well, I do find them fascinating in the sense that it was
I find
so
it
out there.
Yeah.
That it definitely calls attention. Like if they wanted attention to the brand, the mission accomplished. They
Yeah, it's just I'm not sure that's the attention they wanted.
no,
to bring
exactly.
To the
Like I wouldn't want to play with anybody that was completely down with that. Oh yeah, those are awesome commercials. Like no, they were totally not.
No,
I mean, they call
agree.
attention.
They did.
Yeah.
They did for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
So start from the beginning, sir.
All right.
When and what made you get a PlayStation? First off, I assume if I recall correctly, we had this conversation off here. You've had all the PlayStation consoles,
I've had,
including the handhelds.
including the handhelds. Yes.
The only peripheral you have not had is the PlayStation VR.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And that's because VR is a fad, and I recognize
Sure.
it.
Keep telling yourself that.
So my first, actually, interestingly enough, I was not really looking for PlayStation back in the day. I didn't even know what it was. That this was because I never had this affinity towards like a brand or anything like that. Of course, I was a kid also, or actually, I was a teen. Let's say realistically, PlayStation came out. I believe it was in 1995.
We're 25 years. So what is 25 years? 94.
So 94, yeah.
Yeah.
So 1994, my girlfriend at that time, or I should say her mom, actually, like she was really keen to me. She always treated me very well. Always took us out, and she was a cool mom to my girlfriend at that time. So she actually got me a PlayStation 1.
Wow.
This is me without knowing much of it. I knew that console was about it coming out around the time that it was really coming out, because back in the day, the thing that had me impressed the most, I want to say it was probably Nintendo 64, or when I saw Nintendo 64 games on it. But around that time, I was too into not really my Commodore 64, but PC.
Okay,
Like, I was starting PC. That's what it was.
Okay, early
I was
PC.
very, very early in PC and the internet and all that. So I didn't have my I didn't know about the PlayStation coming out until like a few months before, and I started seeing that those games like Tekken Tag Tournament.
Yes.
And I want to say Ridge Racer was the other one, although I don't remember if I might have owned Ridge Racer. So imagine my surprise when that was actually my gift. I want to say it was
That's amazing.
Probably a Christmas. Yeah, exactly. Because those things weren't cheap.
No. I mean, they were not bad either. They came out at $2.99. Well, $2.99 back in those days.
That was expensive. That's like $500.
That's like close to $600 at this point.
At this point, yeah.
With inflation and everything.
So I was one of the first people on my block to actually own a PlayStation, and I didn't know what to do with it. I felt like I have all this power with all these two games because I had Tekken Tag Tournament. Suddenly I was the kid that people would go to the house to want to play the games, and I've never been that kid. Honestly, it's always been because even in the era of Nintendo, I had a Master System. And
so clearly you've always been not on the right place.
Hey, I had
I
own a Super Nintendo, but then I owned a Sega Genesis with a Sega CD, so the Super Nintendo went to bed. So
Super Nintendo was great.
It was great,
even way into the next whatever the next generation.
Of course,
was,
but
had that,
CD, bro, CD technology.
Right.
It was the next thing.
CD, bro.
Yeah, CD, bro. Sewer shark.
It's true that. I mean, to be fair,
so
Nintendo held on to cartridges a little bit too long. Yeah.
And I think that's what it was. Actually, I'm sorry. That's what it was. I was into Sega Genesis and in my Sega CD. So for intended purposes, I already had a CD based console, and I wasn't looking forward to anything else.
Too bad it was the the Sega CD.
Hey, listen, I have that I got a lot of enjoyment out of that. Well,
I don't doubt that.
I wouldn't say a lot, maybe enough.
Some enjoyment.
I got my money's worth. Let's put it that way. But then there was, and I remember the launch titles. There were a few of them that weren't that great, like Fantasia. No, not Fantasia. It was Phantasmavision. I don't remember what
yes,
game.
I know what you're talking
Fantavision? I don't know.
I think it was Fantavision, yeah.
And it was like a screensaver. It was dumb, but they were asking full price for it. I was like, no, thank you. I remember the two games to get around that time was Tekken Tag Tournament and Ridge Racer.
So the Tekken Tag Tournament, for me, Tekken Tag Tournament was the one that piqued my interest. Because I was playing Tekken because I was an arcade guy back in the days, or arcade kid, I guess in this case. So we used to stop by a lot of arcades that were open, and we were in the Bronx, right? So that was Tekken to know that it was shit. I'm gonna play this shit at home. This will be great. That was like my number one thing, but I never pulled the trigger. I did not pull the trigger until Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, wow.
And that's in 1997. So it was several years after the release. But
I'm starting to see a pattern here.
The 7th?
No, the fact that you're never a day oneer on consoles. No, almost never.
I was. And I was on the Nintendo 64.
Oh, so I understand.
That burned me right there. It's like, okay, so I had Pilot Wings, and I don't recall what the other one was. So
Mario.
Just
like now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just like now with the Switch.
So, but yeah, so Final Fantasy VII, I'll never forget. I was a big EGM guy. I was always buying the magazines, and that shit was splattered everywhere. Everywhere they were talking about Final Fantasy VII. It was showing off screenshots. It was talking about this, talking about that. And I was like, I need in on this game. I just need in on it.
Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, you don't recall?
Yeah, I'm trying to recall where was I around that time. No, because I remember I think I was still in Puerto Rico, around the time, and I was very into JRPGs, but
I was not. That was literally that's not. It wouldn't have been my first. There was some that I played beforehand.
Breath of Fire.
I never played Breath of Fire. I just said I never played it. Yeah, but there were a few that I touched. I never owned, but I was like, let me get a little bit of it. And for whatever reason, just never grasped me. But then came this one, and this was 3D. right? And it was going to have pre-rendered backgrounds. It was going to have 3D models and all this. And then that's what they were showing off, dude. They were showing it off everywhere. Let me tell you, like it or not, I get it. I will be the first to say that no, I don't think PlayStation that Final Fantasy VII is the best Final Fantasy game, but I would definitely go on record as saying Final Fantasy VII was a very important game.
Absolutely.
When it came out, because yes, it converted those who didn't play these type of games, and I know because I was surrounded by the type of people that didn't play that game.
Absolutely.
They didn't play any type of RPGs, and guess what? When that game came out, we were all playing it. You know what I'm saying? So that's how influential. It is definitely the most influential Final Fantasy game, hands down. And it can't be denied, hence the reason why they're doing a remake right now. So basically, that's the reason why I ended up getting a PlayStation at all. Because I was all into Nintendo 64, and Nintendo 64 was good. You know, it had good. It did have eventually it did have good games. GoldenEye, probably one of the best early first-person shooters on a console.
Yeah,
and then you had a lot of good stuff. Obviously Mario 64. I'm trying to think some other ones, but they're not coming to mind right now.
on the first PlayStation, you mean?
No, the Nintendo 64. As far as the first PlayStation, I remember. I bought many games, and there's still games to this date that I'm going. They only exist in that I remember because they were the last one I played. Siphon Filter, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. These games only exist in that particular generation, and I never played Crash. Believe it or not, never was a Crash guy. Never got a chance to play that. I'm trying to think of some of the early. I never played Ridge Racer. I played Ridge Racer after that, but that wasn't when I had the first PlayStation. I never, because I'm not a racing guy anyway. You know that. So
yeah.
I did have all the Tekkens though. Although I bought those the moment they came out. You know what I mean? Because I was early on in my gaming life, if you will.
Yeah.
I was a big fighter, a fighting game guy.
You were a fighter, not a lover. I need to make a correction before you continue, and that is it couldn't have not been Fantavision. Fantavision was not a PS1 title.
Okay,
that was a PS2 launch title. I'm sorry,
okay.
I got it mixed. I'm trying to remember.
I'm trying to remember launch titles from the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1.
I remember. Obviously, those two, Ridge Racer and Tekken Tag Team, but there were others. And for the life of me, I know that one of the early eras PlayStation titles that came out that I completely 100,000% gave my heart to, fell in love, was the Wipeout series.
Wipeout, yes.
Wipeout, to me.
Actually, I would say that's an early.
That's a very early.
That's a launch one.
Because I remember
launch window. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing the graphics on it. And granted, this game did not control very well. This game, what I really liked that it had was the graphics for that time, and the combination with the music and the futuristic effect. Like it had made up futuristic brands. And like and this not a storyline, because it was a battle racer type of game. But I remember loving, like, eating that up, like really loving that. And then of course Wipeout XL came out, and it just blew my gourds off. Like, to me, that was probably one of my favorite games on the PlayStation 1 era. Of course, Final Fantasy is there, obviously. But I have to, and others, which we'll go into. But I have to give special mention to that one, because there's a game one of the first games where I completely fell in love with the soundtrack enough to get it, to start, find a way to get the songs from, was the music from Wipeout XL and eventually Wipeout 2047, I believe it was called. I don't even remember anymore, but it was Wipeout 2047. There was Wipeout XL. I want to say it was Wipeout 3 in other Europe.
Areas. Mm-hmm.
But those games, to me, like, it have a special place in my heart. So much that one of the main reasons I was and I became super excited about the PlayStation 3 was hearing that they were going to make another Wipeout for it. and that was the game that I wanted on PlayStation 3. Fuck anything else. I don't care about any.
Okay.
I did not care about any other game or the power of the PlayStation 3 or Resistance Fall Man or anything. Give me Wipeout again, and they did sort of.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, they did in a good way, but I don't know. It never recaptured that magic. I think it was gonna be hard to do.
yeah,
You know,
definitely. Obviously, it's easy to say my favorite PlayStation OG first one game was Final Fantasy VII. That's what made me buy the console. And while I did enjoy many games after that, I've played Final Fantasy VII, which is not a short game, to completion many of times.
Yeah.
And so it is. I don't know. It's got that love, and it's the one thing I remember. It's what got me into the ecosystem.
But I'm trying to remember. So
It wasn't. Was it a? It wasn't. Yeah, it was right.
What?
It was an exclusive at the time.
it's always been an exclusive of
Okay, yeah.
PlayStation.
Okay.
Yeah.
7,
I
yeah.
mean, it came out on PC, but
Eventually.
that game. Well, I'm trying to remember because we had 8 also. Yes, we had 8
And 9.
and 9
Yeah.
on the original PlayStation.
Correct.
So I remember loving the crap out of 9 so much that to this day I still put it on the high list of, okay, this is my second favorite Final Fantasy game. Because the first one will be Final
6?
Fantasy 6. Yeah. Yes, the story, the characters, like everything on that game just click in a way that, and that's not to take away anything from Final Fantasy 7 because I recognize that Final Fantasy 7 was the behemoth, and when I say I put it in my second place, Final Fantasy, it's because Final Fantasy 9 was like, okay, they're not gonna be able to do anything better than 7 ever, so let's just give up. They tried with 8 and they failed miserably. I mean, even though it was a fun
8
game,
was good. Yeah, it was
but
decent.
it was not the same. They're never gonna do Final Fantasy 9. I did not believe they were gonna. I mean, sorry, they were never gonna match Final Fantasy 7 ever. And Final Fantasy 9 proved me wrong. And for that is the reason.
It also
I put
took
right
a step back too. Yeah, I remember that.
on the the type.
No, the look, the
look. The look.
My gosh, the style,
The
style,
artwork, the artwork. They went more. They definitely
they went more
weren't
classic, a little more classic look to
and
it.
I like that. I like that they were not trying to pursue that super realistic for that era. The human sizes or anything like that.
Yeah.
They went back to the almost. I don't want to call them chibi, but it was that
Almost
kind of
chibi,
like
yeah.
almost chibi
Yeah.
type of quality of.
Makes sense.
Yeah, which when you think about it, Final Fantasy 7 had, Final Fantasy 7 was nothing if not chibi as hell.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. So I agree.
Even in the cutscenes, almost
Some of them, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, but if I had to describe, favorite moments of the PlayStation 1, I have to say that it was when I entered the modding scene.
No.
Which was bad. This was really bad, but it was really awesome also. I recently moved here to Florida, and I've discovered that you can install this mod chip on your PlayStation, and suddenly, with a little bit of soldering skill, I guess, which I had none, I had none to the point where I destroyed a brand new PlayStation.
Wow.
Trying to mod it because I didn't know what I was doing. I kind of burned it. I don't know what I did. The thing is that I went to games.
The PlayStation that was given to you, I assume?
This was another one. I think my PlayStation broke down at some point, and this was a replacement. And I wanted to mod the replacement, and I burned it. I bought it with my own money, this one. I burned it. I went back to GameStop and returned it. I got another one.
This is before the...
and I still mod it, but this one I was able to mod it successfully. And suddenly I was able to just burn CDs that I will rent or people will lend me. Like I had Tony Hawk Pro Skater, if that was what the first Tony Hawk game was called. which was a fantastic game also, and I was playing that. I was playing that off of a burned CD,
Nice.
and that was amazing. You know,
Nice.
the modding scene was so fun on that. I was a dumb kid, guys. Please, you know. I know you guys are not judging me. I know that most of those of you know what I'm talking about. I'm not proud of that time, but if you were to ask me, what was the fun? You know, what was the most fun that I had? You know, was that? And of course, you know, I discovered Metal Gear. Solid.
Gear. That's
Metal Gear
another
came
one, too.
out, and that was a game that played that game was so original in the things that it tried to do. You know, with
Absolutely.
it, that to this day it's like high up there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. PlayStation 2, sir. Speaking of Metal Gear, what made
Metal
me jump?
Gear.
What made me jump to PlayStation 2 was Metal Gear Solid 2. So I had the PlayStation for a while. PlayStation 2 had already been out for a little bit, and I was pacing myself in getting it. But what made me do it was Metal Gear Solid 2.
Do it.
And I will never forget the awesome time that I had with that game. And yeah, I get it. It had write-in. I know. I hear you.
Hey.
I hear the hate, guys. I
No
understand.
hate.
But I love that game. It's definitely one of my favorites, and that's what made me cross the bridge to PlayStation 2. And that's the game that got me over to it. And of course, there was plenty of games after that. PlayStation 2 had a lot of good games.
Yeah.
There was actually a lot of games that I missed on PlayStation 2, but it is what it is. I never jumped. Like you mentioned, I never jumped early when it first came out. So it had at this time, right? You had your what do you call it when you had your oh my god, what is it called, that games when they.
What?
The game that made you oh my god, I can't think of the term, but basically it was a game that made you buy the console.
The system seller or
there was a term for it, but yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So for me, it was definitely Metal Gear Solid 2, and the PlayStation 2, obviously also introduced DVDs into our life, a DVD player into my life, and let me tell you. My PlayStation 2 got so overused. I mean, it was basically the center of everything at that point. And yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, I think, was it Saturn or Dreamcast? Which one came out around that time? It was Dreamcast.
It would have been
right?
Oh man, you're probably right. It would.
Yeah, where it was, but the whole deal is because they didn't have. Because the PlayStation 2 was shortly thereafter, and it had a DVD player, and it was the cheapest DVD player you can get at the price that it was being sold, it just stomped the competition on everywhere you looked. The 64 was already waning out, and then they had to go to the GameCube, which wasn't bad, but at that point, it was just not catching up with PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2, the highest selling console of all time.
Yeah.
150 something million units. So.
Sir, I got to make a correction because we fucked up again.
Oh, who's we? You're the one making the correction.
Tekken Tag Tournament is not a PlayStation title.
It's not at all?
It's a PlayStation 2 title.
Oh, so which one was...
Tekken.
Oh, you're right. Tekken. Okay, yeah, all right. So I was like, wait a minute. I knew there was a...
I kept calling it Tekken Tag Tournament when I really meant Tekken. It was Tekken, it was Ridge Racer, and it was Wipeout.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
No, I had Tekken and Tekken 2. I remember that for PlayStation.
Yeah.
And then I did get Tag Tournament. I think that was the last one I got. I never really got... No, that's not true. I think I had Tekken 3.
I'm
anyway,
sure you would have gotten it.
yeah.
You were a big fighting guy, I remember.
Yeah. So.
Remember. You remember. No, PlayStation 2 was, I was already working. I already, I was having, well, actually, to be fair, I had been working and making income since the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, me too.
Since the end of Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
But no, what I was trying to say is like, this is the first console that I remember pre-ordering.
Oh.
Because, dude, it was the next thing to the PlayStation. PlayStation 2 was coming out. This thing was huge. The launch of that system was something I don't recall having. That we had, and I probably misremembering because I do remember 360 and PS3 having big launches also. But this thing, bro, was like if you wanted it on day one, you needed to pre-order a month in advance. And months in advance, I did. I paid fully GameStop. I even have the receipt from the digital receipt from that I got from GameStop saved on my computer all these years. Dating back to when I actually got the PlayStation 2, because I honestly it wasn't any particular game. I was probably hoping for a Wipeout title there, but honestly, just the fact that the PlayStation, it gave me so much entertainment. It was so it was so fun. I knew that Final Fantasy X was coming. I had already seen.
I remember that.
Screenshots of it, because around the Final Fantasy IX was one of the games that came out around the latter part when the
transition period.
Yeah, exactly. PlayStation was already winding down, and they were already showing me reviews of not reviews, but previews of Final Fantasy X. The way it looked, it was amazing.
I remember.
Of course, this was before I learned that game is total garbage. But
we all had a hard lesson there.
but no, I was super impressed with the capabilities of that game, and of course of that system, and of course that was actually the game where I got Tekken Tag Tournament, because what's funny thing is I was never really like that much into like a fighting fan. It was just that's the game you got because you needed to showcase the title.
Exactly.
You needed to showcase
that game. Showcased the hell out of that system.
Yeah. That game looked amazing from the get go. That's the game that I also have, like Fantavision, whatever the hell that was, but also had Armored Core, which I bought. I own. I love Armored Core. Well, to be honest, I didn't like the game, but I love the idea behind it. Making your mech, and then fighting and doing that stuff. It was really cool. That was the game that introduced me to EA's SSX series, which I love. Huge fan, and surprising because I'm not a fan of I don't care for sport games personally. That said, SSX to me was more like it's a small snowboarding game, but it was not a snowboarder simulation game. If anything, it was completely the opposite. It was an all-out, just crazy. Like it reminded me of Tony Hawk, of the Tony Hawk games. So I love that. It was that mixture of excellent music, crazy visuals, ridiculous stunt tricks that you could do in the air. And then SSX Tricky came out, and forget it. I lost my shit with that game. Probably one of my favorites. I had to put it right up there. That introduced me to that series, and I never look back. If I had to remember titles from the PlayStation 2 era, and of course, unfortunately, I'm gonna miss a bunch of them. But
from PlayStation 2, yeah,
from PlayStation 2.
Jack 1, 2.
I did not care for those type
Jack
of games.
3 was excellent to me. Jack 3 was a culmination of everything they were doing. The first Jack, was it Jack and Daxter was the first one. Jack and Daxter was good, right? It was a platformer, it was whatever. Jack 2 really expanded out what it could be. Jack 3 was this beautiful, awesome culmination of everything they were trying to do. That was a really good series there. Jack 2, though, I'll tell you one thing, was an infuriating hard game. Poor checkpoints. It was one of those games that you will throw a controller for the record. But easily, Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater.
Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 on PlayStation 2.
Yeah. But 3 is the best.
But
the best. 3 is the best. Moving on.
It's hard to argue that because 3 was so fucking good.
Yeah.
3 was fantastic. Another series that came out that I got introduced on PlayStation 2 was the Ace Combat series.
Ace Combat.
Yeah. I really was down with those. I'm trying to go really fast to list because I'm almost afraid of missing like anything major on it. And I know there were some. There was. I feel like this is the console where they started experimenting a little bit.
Oh
with
yeah.
different type of
Oh,
games.
absolutely. They had a lot of weird ones.
They had they had Amplitude and the other one. Oh my God, what was the game? It is a rhythm game. That was also. Oh, actually, there was a lot of recent rhythm games when you think about it on that. On PlayStation.
Shadow of the Colossus was released, and I can definitely
Thank you,
agree.
yes.
Yeah, that's a great one. The GTA series went to 3. GTA 3.
Beatmania. I was thinking of Beatmania.
Wait, no, GTA.
GTA
No, yeah, GTA.
came out. Yeah, that was yeah.
was definitely
Yeah, I
one.
don't think that would have run on PlayStation.
PlayStation 1, yeah.
Watch this be wrong.
Yeah, no, definitely.
How about the Bouncer, huh?
I never played the Bouncer.
No,
that
I
was
didn't
one that
either.
slipped through, for the
Me
record. Eco. That was another one that came out. That was
Oh
pretty
shit! Breath of Fire, Dragon Quarter was on
look at
PlayStation 2.
good. Hey, about that. Yeah, those are the good ones there. Beyond Good and Evil. That was another great one that came out there. I know.
Burned Out. How about Burned Out?
Burnout.
Burnout
Okay.
was fantastic on it. Although by
Sorry,
that
racing
time,
game, not my jam.
dude, but how can that not be your jam? It was crazy, like just driving and crashing into people, and that was the best. No, literally, that's what you
Driving
did.
and crashing into
you
people.
wanted
That's
you wanted to
exactly
crash
what
into
you
people.
would
That's how you got your boost. You crash everybody on it. Oh, so good, so good. Anyway, the list this console
It's a
has
list, yeah. It's got
ridiculous
really-
list of
absolutely.
of games and a ridiculous number of gems, which we're not gonna mention
Nope.
because I'm
They're gonna miss
never
them all.
gonna.
Killzone was introduced in this one as well.
Killzone was
there.
The Persona series, especially Persona 3 and Persona 4, were PlayStation 2 gems. These were highlights of the PlayStation 2 era to me. So much so that I went a whole generation, being the PlayStation 3, waiting for a Persona sequel,
Never got it.
and never got it. The closest we got was Catherine, and
Which-
Catherine was
Not the same thing.
not the same thing. Yes.
Definitely, yeah. Speaking of PlayStation 3, then PlayStation 3 launches. And once again, I do not buy in early. Why? Because I am not paying $600 for a damn console.
All right, so let's sit on this. Let's sit down for this one a little bit because we need to discuss what happened. So PlayStation 2 is the best selling console of all time, and to this day, I think it is still. Maybe the Switch, I think it's close or whatever.
The Switch? No, not even.
There was something there that they were comparing it to it, but I don't know what. It
The
is.
Wii, the
Wii,
101,
probably.
which
There you go.
PlayStation 4 has already passed. So
Yeah, well, the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
All right. So, obviously, at the highlight, Sony has it. By this time, also, to preface, Xbox, Microsoft decided to make a console for some reason.
Yeah.
And it introduced some interesting things like Xbox Live and stuff like that. They definitely had the ideas and they thought they had the chops, but it didn't go very well for them compared to a PlayStation 2. Even with that, I bought a GameCube and I played the 2 games that I wanted to play on it, and then I returned it. And I bought myself an Xbox, and I was happy with it because he had Halo, and the rest is history. But it was never PlayStation 2. So Sony knew it. Sony knew that exactly. They were the kings of the world. They own gaming, especially. They show Nintendo. You had this you have the GameCube, very cute.
That's adorable.
Yeah, that's adorable. Let me show you what's next. And oh my God,
the cell processor, guys. The price.
that unveiling, it was something that was such a bad unveiling. It will not be matched until years and years later when Microsoft said, okay, it's our turn now to fuck up. Hold my beer.
Yeah.
But
It took almost a decade, too.
they took almost a decade for Microsoft to say, okay, now we're in the same position. Now it's our turn. Now it's our turn to throw ourselves from this building right into the pavement below. No, but $599 US. That's all it took.
Yep.
That is all it took.
I bought my PlayStation 3 when it was $299, and it was the slim model.
Nope.
That's when
Nope.
that was my first PlayStation 3,
Sir.
and I was like, nope.
I need to play the games. I need to be there on day one. I bought the PlayStation 3.
Wow.
I had it owned it for a little bit. I remember I'm trying to remember what was the. Of course, Ridge Racer was probably one of the release titles because what other release title would have been?
It was Ridge Racer, Lair,
Resistant. Oh fuck, Lair. Yeah, I did not own
Resistant,
that though.
Resistant Fall of Man.
Which was another one that I played. There was.
What was the one with the girl? The girl who was almost like Kratos.
Oh, Heavenly Sword.
Yeah, that was another one.
Heavenly Sword. I played Heavenly Sword, and
Those
so
are your launch titles.
that is to say, it has some decent titles. That don't get me wrong, it was just
nothing
that
worth $600 though.
cock slap in the face of $599. Oh, you can afford it. You just need another job, basically.
And our players will gladly get a second job.
They will, yeah, exactly. No rumble. Like it was.
The No Rumble was their own era, though. I found
Well,
out.
who else would have been?
What I'm trying to say is, I found out recently through some article I was reading that you remember the Boomerang,
Right.
the Boomerang controller. That wasn't a prototype. Like they were all in on that.
Oh my God, that would have been even exponentially worse.
Exactly.
The banana.
When they saw the reaction to it, they had no choice but to go back, and they used the model of the place of the DualShock 2
And then they
to make
realized
the DualShock 3.
we can't fit a motor in this thing.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh shit, for real?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's
So it was actually pretty hilarious. And frankly, I'm glad that there was an outcry
Dude.
to talk about that freaking Boomerang controller. I was like, thank God, because wow, that alone, it just tells you, where their mindset was. And I was like, oh, they're going to love this controller. This is going to be, and they were all in on mass producing these bad boys until that reaction. They're like, all right, guys, we need to fix this shit.
in reality, this is a reveal that to this day is worth going back into the YouTube archives and digging it up and just rewatching it from beginning to end, because you have to. It kind of gives you a glimpse. Now that you understand a little bit better the industry, because you listen to us, it'll give you a glimpse into like what were they thinking?
Where
like,
was their mind?
Where were their minds in this thing? They tried to do the gyro. Remember the six axis was the
future.
The controller. That was the future.
Yeah.
They have the worst demo for it. One that it was, they literally demoed the fact that this 6-axis thing make games unplayable, because when they had that Warzone, was it?
I don't remember what it was, yeah.
There was a title that they were trying to show, like, and the guy was struggling with landing his ship, basically, with the 6-axis controller. Also, the 6-axis controller was. It was terrible.
It was absolute garbage. Yeah,
it was terrible.
Yeah.
It was, and usage of the controllers, like, even the games that had it, like Lair, I believe it was
Lair's one of the show-off games.
almost unplayable. So much so that they actually patched in normal controllers because nobody wanted to play it with.
Because it came in. The game was released with 6-axis use only.
Yes,
and it was just like, in that game, nothing that I saw from that game was like, this is gonna be bad.
It was
very bad.
So much so that I literally got buyer's remorse, and I ended up selling it.
PS3.
Yeah, my original PS3 back to a friend of mine. She wanted to give it to someone as a present, so she ended up buying it from me. I put everything in the box, everything just here, just
take it.
Take it. Just don't want it.
Yeah.
I think I took like $100 or $150 loss on it, but I was like, nope, I don't want this.
I did not buy early. I waited until the Slim, which was several years in.
Yeah.
Slim was probably 2009.
What the hell were you playing around that time?
I was still in PlayStation 2.
Jesus.
I was still playing. Then in the Wii. The Wii came out.
Oh my god!
So I was on the Wii, but I refused. I was like, no, I'm not paying $600 for this thing. And then on top of that, it didn't have great games.
No.
But by the time I did get the Slim model,
But the 360
we had
was there,
the-
and the
the
360 had good
Uncharted-
games already.
yeah, what was happening to 360s at this
Oh,
point?
wait.
It's exactly.
The red ring of death.
Exactly. I've said this many a times. I would have bought a 360 and probably been a proud owner of one today.
Man.
If it wasn't for the fact that when the moment I was going to transition over, every friend that I had who had a 360 was going through their red ring of
Yeah.
death. And I said, fuck
Yeah.
that. I am not going
And
through that.
multiple times. I own 2 360s that red ring like within weeks of each other because I own 2 because my then my ex-wife she was a gamer also, and she had like her own place Xbox 360 because she was in a clan on a Gears of War clan, and she'll be playing Gears of War and Halo, and that was like her type of game. And I have mine separate, So both of them red ring like within a week from another. It was terrible, and it is such a blemish in the history
blemish.
because
And the problem with that is, I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one, right? I mean, that would have been don't get me wrong, the 360 still did excellent, right? They still did excellent work.
after they fix it,
No,
quote
no,
unquote fix it.
True. But I'm saying overall still did excellent, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure I wasn't the only one that said, I'm not buying a $600 console. I'm not going to fucking do it. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm positive that I'm not the only one. And I waited, and I waited. 2009 was when I finally got it, and at that point I had a nice little library, and I only paid $299 for the console.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I'm in now. And then that's when I jumped back in, and at that point I had
That's how you missed Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yep. And
Among
whose
many
fault is
of other
that?
games.
Whose fault is that? I
Sony.
blame Sony 100%. It's like it's your own fault that I never played Metal Gear Solid 4, and I may never play it ever. You know what I mean? It's like, whose fault is it? It's like your own hubris did this to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So while I do wish I could have gone back, I never did. There were so many games, Uncharted, all these. I think the time that I got it, Uncharted 2 was coming out.
Yeah.
So I had to get the first Uncharted, and you know me, I have to get everything beforehand so I can. So there were so many games at that point,
And they didn't even have achievement.
Resistance 2.
Oh, actually, they got achievement patched in. Uncharted, got
later
achievement
on.
patched
Yep.
in. That's because
By the
before,
time I got it, they were already there.
Yeah, but they had to patch them in because the first time, because
The
when
first
I
one,
owned it,
yeah.
it didn't have it.
Correct.
The same thing with Metal Gear Solid 4. I had already beaten it, and then they patched in trophies,
Yep.
and then I was like, well, I want to play it, let's play it again. But then I was like, no, I don't want to go through this, especially when I don't care about trophies because trophies is this abstract thing that nobody understands. And
I
at least
understand it just fine.
at least with Xbox, I have actual numbers that I don't have to go to a chart to mean, oh, I'm on level 17 something. That means that I got 3 silvers and 42 bronze and 1 platinum, whatever the hell that means. But
get it,
that's
bro.
okay. I got used to it. I got used
I'm
to it
sure
now.
you have.
But by now, like,
None
I don't
of
give a
us
fuck
are.
about
Yeah.
about it anymore.
Yeah.
'Cause
None of us are
meaningless.
achievement or trophy hunters, so it
No.
doesn't matter. We're
No,
just
no.
talking shit really about it. But
Yeah,
but
it was Sony. Like they couldn't do what Microsoft had already done. They had to one up them, so they decided to do the trophy system, and they
which,
decided
to
to
be
do it.
fair, and there's maybe just me. To be fair, I think it's a step above the achievement system. I think what's missing from the achievement system is that big moment when you have the platinum, right? There is no, hey, you got the platinum of this game. There's no, hey, you got the blank achievement of this game.
It was
you
either
don't have that.
you got the platinum was just getting the achievement that had the highest number, which that could depend on games. It could have been 200 points. It could be 500 points. It could have been just the one achievement that gave you 1,000 points, like King Kong, like King Kong. So I get that. I
little
get
things
that.
like that.
It was just easier to track. To me, it was easier to track, oh, I have 10,000 achievement points versus, oh, I'm a level 7, on
How
whatever.
is that so hard to understand? I mean,
Because
how many RPGs out there have your level system, your experience level gets you to your level?
But
Why is that so difficult to understand?
Again, it was you said it. You said it was a step above because it is a more elaborated system. It has a level
is more
system.
elaborate, yeah.
With Xbox, you didn't have to worry about it. It was just numbered. All I had to do is compare. I have 10,300 and you have 10,000. Therefore, I have 10,000. Not, both of us are level 13 on PlayStation, but you have 64 bronze and 37 silver, but I have 22 silver and 103 bronze. Like, that kind of shit made no sense.
Hence, I'm better than you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, but we're both level 13.
Yeah, exactly,
so it is like, there's no.
When it comes to
it was
levels,
harder to do a bragging rights
not
on
all
that.
level 13s are the same.
Exactly.
Which one is
Whether in Xbox, it's like, you knew. It's like, hey, you got, I got 1,001 achievement, but you got 1,000. So therefore,
I'm better than you.
I'm better than you. If achievement would have meant anything.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
to be fair, and this could probably be a topic of the week if we haven't had it already. But achievement, I was never a trophy or achievement whore. An achievement whore. I love that term, by the way. An achievement whore. But I like getting them. I really fucking like getting them. Whenever I got them, it was
Everybody
like
does.
it was such a like a pavoning effect.
Yeah.
You know, it was
That's exactly what it is. Yeah,
And-
and they know that's why
Yeah,
they're there.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's why that metagame
which
exists.
irks me, the fact that Steam did it so wrong that like it doesn't matter. Like they're completely meaningless to get, on Steam. Which again, it's because it's not really a platform. You could play it on anything.
Correct.
So you can't really compare.
But I bet you,
arguably,
I would argue if they had a great achievement / trophy system, more people would be on Steam. Like that's something to.
well, you don't need to tell more people because every fucking body is on Steam. On
No, I know,
PC.
but hello, Epic Store is trying to change that.
Yeah,
But
true.
word to the wise, Valve. If you want to keep your peoples, this may actually help. So PlayStation 3
achievement in 2019.
PlayStation,
That matters now.
PlayStation 3, absolutely easy one to put as the best moments experience.
That was the moment that I
Last of Us,
needed
man.
to see. No, well, yeah, but
As far as games are,
as far as game, PlayStation 3 was the moment where I needed to start seeing more about the industry, even though I was following it already. But
yeah. Oh yeah. I would say the same.
it was the thing.
It's around that time that I started really getting into the nitty gritty. Yeah.
Because you could see, it was no longer about just the hype. The hype now you need to make sure that you were looking besides
Beyond
the
that.
hype. Beyond that, exactly. Especially when they will show you something like, oh my god, that kill zone looks ridiculous, and then the game was nothing like it. Even though it still was okay, but it was
It was
nothing
still
like
good,
what they would show you.
It
Or
was
Killzone
clearly
2 or-
false. Yeah. Killzone 2. It was Killzone 2. Yeah.
Killzone 2, exactly. And then every time now, by this time, now they're in competition with 360, and 360 is doing great in this generation. 360 got Xbox Live down. They got the online experience down
They had
pat.
the indies down.
They got the indies now. They got the Xbox Live Arcade. All that was working, very well. Very well for them. And at the beginning, Sony had to play a little bit of catch up, and I think they did. They did successfully because right around the end of that generation, I would say they were like par. That were par.
Actually, yes, but if you look at the overall numbers, they had surpassed them, but it didn't matter at that point. That's the whole deal. At that point, we were already looking towards the next generation. But by the end of the actual, if you look at the stacked numbers of 360 versus PlayStation 3, PlayStation 3 actually had already surpassed them towards the end of that generation. But they had to do so much to do so.
That was quite a recovery.
It is a great recovery, absolutely.
When you consider, from what they were coming. Remember, if Sony had the problem that Microsoft, not Microsoft, but yes, actually Microsoft was having this generation with the Xbox One, which was their version of their games were the inferior versions.
Yeah.
And
That
they
is
had
true.
to make up. And I mean, it's no secret the fact that we got terrible ports on PS4 on PS3 because it was so hard to code for.
Perfect example, and I said it a million times. BioShock, for the longest time,
Yeah.
I thought that was an actual, like, timed exclusive for Xbox.
Xbox 360.
And it wasn't. It was because fucking Irrational Games was like, we're having a difficult time programming this shit into it. And it took over a year, a little over a year, just to get it over. And to their credit, though, when they released the game on PlayStation 3, finally, it had a little bit of extra stuff that wasn't any other. Because like, hey, you guys waited this long, here you go, you know. But in essence, that explains, you know, the difficulty with the cell processor and everything.
Yeah.
Skyrim was a
look
huge,
at
issue.
Skyrim. Bethesda went like, okay, we can't fix it.
Yeah. I don't know what's wrong with it.
We can't fix it. We can't fix it. Bayonetta, it's such a great, smooth, fluid game, and they got gypped because of the freaking cell processor. That, like, the idea of the cell processor, I understand what Sony was trying to do with it. I mean, obviously Sony did very well with implementing a standard for, you know, when DVDs came out, well, on Blu-rays also. I mean, that was the de facto Blu-ray. I will argue that if it wasn't for Blu-ray, you know, implementation, it would have been harder for them to catch
come
up.
back.
Like,
Absolutely.
like substantially harder.
Because it won the HD DVD Blu-ray
Microsoft
war.
going with fucking HD DVD for some ungodly reason.
It won that war.
Yeah,
essentially.
it did won the format war. So they did, you know, that they did very well with that. So yeah, the system in itself was great. I ended up rebuying it, you know, again, not shortly after I sold it, because by that time there were more titles that I was interested in. But I remember those titles being the exclusive. Mm-hmm. Any title that was not an exclusive, I'll get on the 360 because I knew that I was getting a better version on that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah.
But particular games that were, I mean, there's a lot. Honestly, I think just you said it very well. It was it peaked with Last of Us,
which came at the end of the life
at the very
cycle,
end. Yeah. By that time, it's like, okay, this is the realization what this console
needed
power,
to be.
you know, could have done.
Absolutely.
And but of course, Naughty Dogs are fucking coding ninjas. So.
They sure are.
Yeah, and
PlayStation,
and then the I'm sorry, I was just gonna say the promise of the cell processor never came to fruition. It never, even though, you know, again, Sony was very good with setting up standards, but they were never able to do that. Their idea of the cell processor was gonna be something about networking with, like, appliances in your house, and everything was gonna run.
It was
the cell processor,
way too ahead of its time.
Crazy thing, but it was just. Yeah, it was way too different, way too different of a platform. So, going to
PlayStation 4.
PlayStation 4. And they learned their lesson. They go back to making it a more of a PC
structure.
But that's not the lesson that they learned. They masterfully and dude, this was with the precision of a master. If the PlayStation 3 launch event was a unmitigated disaster and they had a lesson to learn, they fucking sat down. They had a montage while there was like rocky music playing in the background of them studying, looking at all the mistake that they make on that reveal. They were getting ready because when they showed for the first time, I don't remember if it was for the first time, but the first time when they actually announced I'm thinking of the E3, even though I think the reveal was
in February of 2013.
The reveal wasn't. That's right.
And at that point, they didn't show the console. They just kind of went over what it was. And I remember you walked out of it way more excited because you're a technical guy. So when they were releasing the tech, you're going, "Holy shit, it has this and this," and I'm like, "I guess that's good." I don't know, well, you know. And but then, of course, you know, we expected a little something from Microsoft. At some point,
Microsoft has something to say. It turns out they had something to say.
It wasn't until right before E3, and oh my God, was it the wrong message?
Dude, I think
horrible.
I think they had a pre-event.
I want to say that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, before E3.
Yeah.
So and
It was a TV event.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Did Microsoft just botch this one?
Yeah.
Like this again. If Sony had a bad E3 for PlayStation 3, Microsoft decided to one up them in the holy shitness crapness at
Correct.
this that the reveal of the Xbox, the one known as the Xbox One. Ended
That
up
alone
being,
threw off its messaging.
everything went so backward.
bad.
Everything
And
that could have
then-
gone wrong went wrong with this.
And then not only that, but Sony being like so
fucking good.
Yeah, that E3 2013 E3 Sony conference, guys. If you have not watched it, just watch it.
This is the one.
Just take a moment and just sit there and watch it because
But you have to watch it with the context of 2006 or
yes,
2006.
you should see that one
You need to
first,
see that one
and then see
and
this
then
one.
see this
and it
one.
is such an absolute slamming
Yeah.
of freaking Microsoft. One, they were $100 cheaper.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, let me show you how to share games. And it was ridiculous.
There was more powerful.
It was, yeah.
It was a more powerful system. By that time, mind you, taking a step back, Microsoft messaging was that their system was going to be always online. You always needed to have it connected. If you didn't have an always on connection, we have a product for you. It's called the 360.
360,
Of course, let them have cake.
Yeah, pretty much.
This was Dawn Matrix, like ultimate destruction of the Xbox
Yep.
brand. And the system was going to connect with the TVs. It was going to have Kinect too, because you know what? That Kinect thing that everybody fucking hated on Xbox 360, we're going to give you a new version of it. It's going to be shittier.
It's going to be shittier and more invasive.
And more invasive, yeah. And you're
Because it's going to be watching you.
you're
all
going
the
to
time.
need it. It's like, dude.
It was
Dude.
honestly, it was night and day, and
And this was this is what I wanted to say. It was the messaging of it was that you needed to have that online connection because you needed to confirm that you own the games, and if you wanted to lend your games, you couldn't lend your games. You
couldn't
had to
lend your
do
game.
you had
There
to
was
add
some
them in some
method,
sort of
yeah,
like
yep.
family
Plan
something
shit,
in.
yeah.
If you wanted to, so it was confusion galore on the messaging of the Xbox One. And meanwhile, Sony comes in, mentions the specs again. The specs are more impressive. Talks about it's going to be a PlayStation 4, and then after everything, they released the price, and that's the moment. That is the moment when the Xbox One died.
Yeah.
It never had a chance. To this day, unfortunately, Xbox One X could be the more powerful system now in existence and whatever. You could get it for
It
like
is.
$2 something and whatever.
There's no doubting.
It doesn't matter
Yeah.
because developers just saw that, and the console didn't sell well at the beginning already. And it's not failing. Obviously, it's making money to Xbox, and
It's
obviously,
doing, yeah.
evidently, it's doing very well because Xbox, because they are actually able to do this great thing with Game Pass, which is this is it's a fantastic service unmatched right now at this moment. It's unmatched.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
doesn't have a competition, but it never got to the glorious. It never became the king again, and it was because of that. Because the moment they botched their announcement, they released $500. Sony come in and says $399, and that's it. It kind of reminded me and
the game sharing, and that's also
game sharing, yeah.
that was that. There's one thing to say we have better messaging. There's one to say we need to deliver a message, right? And did they ever deliver that message? And then I can't remember his name, but he was on stage. He was like, "This system will play used games."
Yeah.
And it was and he was just, dude. There was cheering. It was just like,
dude,
I was in awe.
Let me
I was
put it-
just like, I can't believe this is actually happening. I can't believe I'm witnessing
there
this.
was a running joke during the entirety of the PlayStation 3 existence, which was actually the longest generation we have had.
Correct,
It was over 10 years. I
And
think.
honestly, it's because of the length that they were able to catch up. Otherwise,
yeah.
it wouldn't have.
Yeah. The running joke was that every year will be the year of the PlayStation.
Yep.
Every year they will come in. Oh, this is the year of the PlayStation, and every year it was
The year
nothing.
dreams, yep.
It was So 2013, we can, without any reasonable doubt,
Yeah.
we can say 2013 became finally
Delivered that. Yeah.
the year of the PlayStation.
Yep.
Because that is the moment that they just rose to power. That the PlayStation 4
They came
delivers
back
a
into
beautiful system. Well, they came back into power.
Yeah.
The PlayStation 4 was a beautifully crafted system. Whether the Xbox was a fucking VCR, kind of a. It was a huge system. Not now. Right
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
I
it's
think
been
that
updated,
the
The
engineering,
white one is fucking.
the
gorgeous,
engineering
yeah.
of the Xbox, even the Xbox S, but especially the Xbox One X is just glorious. It's a masterpiece. Inside that thing is a masterpiece. That thing is whisper quiet. But again, it doesn't matter. It's too late already.
What are you gonna play on it?
What
Yeah, like-
exactly?
Yeah.
That's the joke.
Yeah.
What games
That
are
became
you
the
gonna play?
that became the joke of this generation, particularly in the last few years. And
And for some
in the
reason,
last-
Microsoft is closing their studios. When you see Sony like doubling down on studios, Microsoft is closing them for no reason.
It was just strange. Oh, that was early on.
was
Early
early
on
on,
in the
yeah.
and it was just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But no, now they realized, oh, well, we need exclusives. Exclusives are important.
It
You know what
turns
I mean?
out.
Yeah. And so and not only does it turn out, if you just look at these last 3 years, maybe even 4 years, but we'll go with 3 years. These last 3 years, the exclusives that have been hitting, and they're just this year. I think is the one that I can say probably the not the biggest of the last 3 years, right? Because you have Days Gone earlier this year, which wasn't exactly, and then Death Stranding, which is divisive, right? But you go back to the other ones. You have Spider-Man. You have
Well, they're
God of
winding
War,
down.
you
This
have-
year they're winding down. Because they had
definitely.
last year was phenomenon. The year before it was forget it.
Absolutely.
It
So
destroyed
it's
the world.
but it's like one thing is like, yes, you have the most powerful console, but can you play this game?
Yeah.
No, you can't. And so you only have only one place to play it, and that's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
So this has been quite the generation for PlayStation, and
the highest amount of by the way, in the this was the generation that the console games consoles in general were meant to die because mobile games bro
Were the future.
mobile games bro
we're the future.
yeah mobile games
They
they will kill.
We're still waiting for that future.
We're
For
not
the record.
having consoles are dead.
Yeah.
Long live and you know what's funny, this whole thing with streaming services are the future, consoles are done. This is the same song and dance. Guys, come on, let's get
It
real.
is. Next
Get
year we
fucking
will
real.
see another Xbox console, another PlayStation console, and we're
That's
back
right.
off to the races.
We're
Yeah.
watching. We're looking forward to those things, to Xbox, delivering and PlayStation showing off what they have for the next generation, and it's always exciting, right?
It is very exciting. This next year, first off, let me tell you, next year I think is going to be a massive year in gaming.
Yeah.
Because one, if you really look at just the first 5 months of 2020,
Yeah.
and the games that are scheduled to come out at that point, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
You have Cyberpunk 2077, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Last of Us 2. There's a few that I'm missing that are not coming to mind for some reason right now, but there's just a bunch of games. And then towards the end of that year, we have a launch of new generation
consoles. Yeah.
So next year is going to be something serious.
Yeah. I'm excited to hear that at least from the voice of Microsoft, they're saying, "Oh yeah, no, we have we have the console," which I can only imagine is like a developer, even what he's talking about, a dev kit. We're playing games on it, which makes me think that I don't think they're playing the next gen games that are coming out. I think they're more like they're more referring to the backward compatible, or the games of right now, which will be back at that point, will be considered backward compatible. That is something that I'm excited for because I have built a hefty digital library on both of these consoles. I will hate to lose most of them. I mean, with PC, I don't have to worry. Those things are almost quasi eternal, But on consoles, like I would not want to miss my exclusive PlayStation 3,
PlayStation 5,
or PlayStation 4 rather.
Is first off, I'm sure it is. But if it's not for some freaking reason, wow, they've already lost the race and it hasn't even begun.
That would be a shame.
You need to be backwards compatible. Period.
Yeah. But there's no reason not to.
There's no reason.
There's no reason not to.
There's no reason. But
and it needs to be. It needs to be a real solution. Not. Oh, I'm gonna stream this.
Not PlayStation now.
No, nothing like that. It has to be.
I agree.
You can play that.
Yep.
And obviously the same thing to Microsoft. I think their messaging is clear on that. We have had some 25 amazing years. If anything, this proves that that it's in my case, for example. I've always said I'm console agnostic. Except Nintendo, because fuck Nintendo. I am kidding. That's not true. I own my Switch. I like my Switch. That was just a joke that got really old back in the day. No, but I played everything. I'm not gonna fanboy for anybody. I don't own an Xbox because I have all the games that I want to play on it, and
There's
also
no
I have the PC to supplant it.
Correct,
so I can't play the Sony exclusives on PC, but the Microsoft exclusives I can play on PC. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but and I'm a little concerned of how that might play on with the next generation, because if it continues being the same, hey, I have a capable computer, I can still play those games.
Correct.
But
that's something that Sony needs to think about, because it's going to become to that point where, okay, remember, the consoles is generally a loss for the company, right? That's not how they make their money. They make their money on the games. If you're still buying the games on PC or console, you're making more than just
buying
if you're
it on
only
console.
selling on console.
Right.
So that's something PlayStation is going to have to start thinking about, or Sony is going to have to think about, because if that xCloud is one thing that is going to happen, it's just a small thing of their ecosystem, but it's another piece where it's like, you know what, you don't want to buy the Xbox Scarlet or whatever it's going to call. Sure, but here are the games, and they have now exclusive titles because they have exclusive developers, teams, which they've acquired, and they realize, okay, we need these guys.
It turns out Halo cannot carry us all the way, like we thought.
Gears of War,
Halo and Gears of War. Turns out that those games were great back in 2007.
Exactly. Yeah. We need something else.
We need something new. Yeah.
And they have some good teams.
Yeah.
For the record.
Yeah.
Team Ninja Theory. That's a great team.
Yeah.
And I'm a little jealous. They obviously acquired these guys from Outer Worlds, Obsidian.
Yeah.
So they have good teams.
Yeah.
So
they should be able to deliver, even though I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of worried about what Obsidian's working on right now.
Well, they're working on something specific. It's a little bit weird,
Yeah.
but I don't think that'll be their only thing.
Let's hope that. Yeah.
So.
No, but my point was to make that you could be the first. You could be the best in class, and if you slip on the laurels and decide, okay, I've reached the top, and I don't need to do anything else because everybody's gonna love us because we are, Xbox or we are PlayStation or whatever. Like that doesn't matter.
Nope.
Gamers are gonna go towards where the games are at.
Correct. Yep.
So you can't just say, oh, I'm the brand, I'm PlayStation, I'm gonna live, I'm gonna be forever because. Hi, PlayStation 3 happened. You don't want that to happen again.
And it took a lot to turn that around.
So I'm looking forward to what the PlayStation 5 will come. I will definitely be there day one.
I won't be there day one, but I'll be shortly thereafter.
I need to be there. One of us needs to, and it's probably gonna be me.
Yeah, I hear you.
And to be fair,
let's be real. We already know there's always a cross pollination between generations. So whatever game that's coming to PlayStation 5 early on, I'm sure it'll be on PlayStation 4. So
at some point, that would be terrible. Don't do that.
They do that every generation.
Let's put it this way: if they announce that
Ghost of Tsushima, for instance, will be available on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5.
I'm gonna wait for PlayStation 5 then. Just like Cyberpunk, I will happily wait.
Oh,
I
you
don't
just
have
get
to
that
worry
on
about that
PC.
because I can get that on
Yeah,
PC.
yeah,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
are you
yeah.
doing?
So, but yeah, I'm not. You know, I'm very looking forward. You know
Me too.
what the
Definitely.
next consoles have to offer, and here's for
Absolutely.
25 more years. I'm gonna be
Yes.
playing until I can't play no more.
Agreed.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be buried with a console.
I look forward to retirement from work to just go home and just play. And looking forward to playing Final Fantasy VII Remake times 2.
Times
at
two.
that point.
God. Oh, that's right. Because the only version that we're getting right now is going to be the PlayStation 4, and then PlayStation 5 will come in. Final Fantasy VII Part 2 and Part 3
2.
and
Yep,
go on.
exactly.
Oh, that's horrible.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining in on this awesome episode 189. As always, please go to goodgame.rocks and join the conversation there. And please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. This is Mad Dog signing off for this week. Mr. Santos, take us home.
All right. So I guess it wouldn't really matter if Final Fantasy VII is on PlayStation 4 because PlayStation 5 is going to be backward compatible. So there you go.
This is true.
So there you go. I
is very
fixed the
true.
problem. We're gonna have the collection. Just PlayStation. What do they call the PlayStation?
It's going to be
5.
PlayStation 5.
It's gonna be PlayStation 5?
It's going to be PlayStation.
Damn it.
The concern with PlayStation 4 is apparently 4 is an unlucky number in Japan.
Oh,
And they call it PlayStation
Let's
4.
go.
So there's no reason not to go to 5 at
yeah.
this point.
Let's call it PlayStation 5.
Unless they call it the PlayStation.
No, call it PlayStation 5.
PlayStation Prime?
What do they call the Xbox?
It's Scarlet.
Just stick with the
Stick with
Scarlett.
yeah. Why not?
The Xbox.
They can't say Xbox 2 because that'll just be stupid.
No, they can't. No, that would be dumb. Obviously, that's
Yeah,
not gonna
yeah.
be it. It's gonna be Xbox.
Prime?
Something. Oh, fuck.
Xbox Prime.
No, I thought that this was
You
gonna
have
be
been saying
Xbox
that for
Prime.
a long time. Yeah, yeah.
What should be that? And I'll be like, nope,
Son of a bitch.
I'm out. I'm out.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Oh my God! What in the? What the hell is this? That's Bitter Central. Woo! All right. Yeah,
Oh, my God.
I can
dude,
still
that is
feel it in my
hilarious.
mouth. The taste doesn't want to go away.
Oh, my God.
Holy shit. That is the most IPA. I have better IPA. Woohoo.
I think it's actually. Here's the funny part.
It's not even a-
No, it is an IPA.
Oh,
for the record. But it is not even. Like, it's brewed in a different way to keep some of the bitterness off of it.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Because it feels like the bitterness just came to the very top of it.
But I realize that generally when I buy beer, and this is like on the regular, right?
Uh-huh.
Whenever I get beer, I am getting the hoppy ones. I'm just always. It's like that's my immediate thing is to go grab one of those, right?
Yeah.
So I get to this one. Like this is and actually a fairly new one. So I got this maybe somewhere in the middle of this last week. And I was like, man, this is not bad for an IPA. I mean, I still like IPA, but it's like, this is actually not as hoppy for an IPA.
It's not?
But then I realized I'm always having a lot of
Oh,
so my buds may be a little different.
I think your buds have already been burned by the battery acid that you call IPA.
Oh my god.
Oh my God. Like the taste is still in my tongue. Like it doesn't want to leave. Holy shit. This is going to be a rough one.